You are tuning in live to the Aaron O Show. What's going on, everybody? What's going on? How's everybody feeling today? I don't know why water just rejuvenates the body. Did y'all have? Did y'all drink any water this morning? Or did y'all just wake up and drink Kool-Aid? That means you woke up and y'all drank some Kool-Aid. Nothing wrong with that. People like, what's that called? Flavored water? Yes, flavored water. That's the new thing. I tried some of that water like the other show. No good. Stick to the conventional spring water. Okay. That's what I would say. Stick to some spring water. All right. Because I know y'all not drinking enough water. I know y'all not. Another crazy start to Fight Club. It is what it is. Still figuring some things out. So we'll go from there. Tia says, plain room temp spring water here. I'm open to both. Anything but boiling water. Give me flashbacks. What shall we discuss today? You know, one of the clips that I wanted to discuss has a I can't necessarily get rid of the music playing in the background, which would cause like a copyright type issue, which takes away from what part of the conversation that I wanted to have. So I have to figure out a way to talk around that. Hey, Love C. And I'll figure that out. Other than that, we're going to discuss what we did not get to discuss my last show. But of course, where are my manners? I must acknowledge the sponsor of the last show, none other than the great Mr. Logic. So shout out to Mr. Logic. He sponsored the last show. I think we had a really dope conversation surrounding business. Shout out to Eater Man. I think it was a pretty good show. Some people caught the replay and they were able to. I think they learned a little bit. I think they got a different atmosphere when we kind of speak about those type of conversations, which will hopefully get more and more conversations like that if we can get the right people, personalities, things like that. Miss Heather Woods. I see you, darling. Don't worry. I see you. Now, West Coast time. I wonder what time you guys wake up. Can you guys just put in the chat what times you guys wake up on Saturday morning? Do you guys sleep in? Are you sleepyheads? I think you guys are sleepyheads. Love C says every day, no matter what day it is. So, I don't use an alarm clock. At least I don't need one, right? But on the weekends, technically I'm working, so I don't get to sleep in. But yeah, I guess you're right, Love. So you kind of wake up the same time typically. B Rose says 10 p.m. the night before. How you gonna wake up before you wake up? I don't understand, y'all. I don't understand, y'all. Now, before we get into the show, I want to ask you guys a question, and it is a personal question. It is a personal question, okay? And this is what I want from you guys. And all you have to do is just put it in the chat, okay? Don't stress yourself out. No need to do that. But I have a question for you. Who is your favorite person in your family? That's what I want to know. Who's the favorite person in your family? That is what I want to know. Just put it in the chat. Who's your favorite person in your family? Love, see, you cannot be your own family. That's singular. Actually, can you? No, you can't be your own family. That's cheating. That is cheating. Okay, I just want to get a sense of who people's favorite people are in their family. Hmm. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. We got a lot of direct family members, brother, sister, mom, dad. When you start to get removed from there to grandfathers, grandmothers, nieces, nephews. No, Tia, I'm not sure who you love the most because that's not really something you can really calculate. I don't think. At least you guys won't be honest about it. So I just want to know who your favorite is. Your favorite gives me a more understanding of you. And I want you guys just to take a look of who people are picking as their favorite person in their family. You can't pick two people. That's cheating. Nah, nah, nah. Pick a side. Pick a side. You can't pick two people. That's cheating. I figured y'all would be scared to pick a side. Ain't no worry about that. Ain't no worries about that. A little fear never hurt anybody. A little fear never hurt nobody. I don't know about that therapy video that I wanted to review. We'll see. We'll start. We'll start where we need to start before we get into the village conversation. Because that's one I really want to cover. I want to talk about fear. Fear, being afraid. And are men allowed to be afraid? Yes, Eda man, I believe it can change. Absolutely. Hey Cree. So how many of y'all think men are allowed to be afraid? Society embraces men and gives them a space to embrace, have, support their insecurities or fear, right? The fear. Does society allow men to be afraid? You know, I was listening to this video clip and I said, "Wow, we are in some interesting times where the perspective is so interesting." Now, can you guys give me some examples of when you guys think society has embraced men being afraid? Because I'm struggling uh trying to figure out when society's like, yeah, you know what? Go ahead and be afraid. It's okay. I just don't know. Hey, Empress Vibe. Now, tears and fear are two different things men can't afford, not in this life. Well, hey, Lauren, I think you can do some of those things behind the scenes. So I guess to a certain degree, you could have some fear, I guess, away from people. But when people can see it, do they allow it? Right. So let's jump into it. Let's jump into what do I mean by fear? Embracing, right? This is why we're going to need some therapy soon. because I thought this was interesting, right? Let me give you the example. Oh, did I save that video? I don't think I did. Oh man, I don't think I didn't save that video. It was a good video. I'll tell you what the video was about, but I did not save it. I'm not talking about the rats in New York. Oh, I found one of the videos that I want to show you guys. Now, darn it. So let me tell you what the video was, right? There was some children swimming in like a lake, I want to say somewhere outside of Texas or in Texas or somewhere around that area. And there was a crocodile or alligator swimming. And you can see all the parents rushing into the water to kind of extract the kids out of the water and kind of distract the crocodile and stuff. I'm like, man, first of all, I was thinking to myself, why would you let your kids swim in the lake? I can't tell y'all which people were allowing their kids to swim in that particular area, but just for you to know, they did jump in the water, and one of the kids jumped off like, I don't know what that's called, like a deck, when there's something that covers over the water, like when you approach a boat or something. I don't know what that's called, maybe a deck or something, I don't know. And one of the kids jumped off of that to then try to swim the shore. I'm thinking, why don't you just stay on the deck? But then I guess you could be stuck there a lot. So I don't know. Either man, I said, I don't know if it's a crocodile or an alligator. I don't know if it was a lake or something else. I'm not exactly sure what they classified it as. That's why I left it open-ended, okay? Didn't know what it was. I'm going to assume it was a lake, but I don't have the video, okay? But I'm going to assume it was. Somebody says a dock. Okay, I'm fine with a dock or a pier, whatever you call it. I'm not sure. I don't jump into no waters, okay? I don't jump into no waters. Me's afraid of getting to the waters, especially if you can't see the bottom. So I don't get in there. So I don't have those problems, right? But it was an interesting video. And I was like, man, what kind of parents allow? And it's a known. I was kind of reading some of the comments. And they were like, they know that these particular alligators, I'm going to say alligators because Edom man, who's from the South, because this was in the South, I guess. Why would you let your kids swim there? Kobe Jordan, I'm gonna start taking it personal. Can I even swim? What does that got to do with the story? You only need to swim if you in the water to swim. You cannot swim outside of the water. So it is what it is, right? Now, I saw that video. I was like, man, that is interesting. Now I got this other video that I'm saving because I can't wait to find the alternative. I'm like, where's that video? Gore, what up? I got to find that video. But first, before we get into the show, I said, as often as that I can find videos that are, I would say, good videos. I don't know if it's inspiring, but good energy videos. I like to start the show with those videos first. All right. So we're going to start with one of those videos first before we jump into the conversation. All right. Let me pull it up here. And let me see if you guys can see that. Yeah, here we go.
Set the hook. Stay on him, son. Come on. Hold up. Let me tighten this up. Oh, gosh, that's a good one. Come on. Stay on him, son. Come on. Stay on him. Come on. Get him up. Really. Come on. Crank back. Don't let him pull you in. Come on. Real, son. That's a big one. Come on. Stay on him. Don't let him jump. Come on, son. Yeah! Let's freaking go, boy! Let's go! Come on, boy! Yeah!
Go, man.
Let's go, kid! Let's go, buddy! Look at that. Let's get him in the middle of the floor. Oh my gosh, son. What a freaking giant. Hey, let's go, baby. Give me 5. See what happens when attitude changes and you just fish? Let's
You know, it's videos like that. It gives me hope for the future. Gives me hope for the future. Now, I just like just a level of engagement there, the confidence building. It's pretty cool, man. It's pretty cool. A lot of times people think it's funny and not really know the importance of having the father figure. They really act like they don't know. They really act like they don't know. But I'm telling you, just looking around this world, man, and looking around society, it's just something different. Just something different. Something for you guys to think about. Uh, Now, my grandfather took me fishing. Luckily, back then I couldn't beat him up because I don't know what he was thinking, having me on that boat. But see, back then, it was different. Back then, you could be on the back of a truck. You know, they got that whole rule now where you can't ride in the back of the truck. We was riding on the Bay Bridge in the back of the pickup truck. No seatbelt, no nothing. Living life. It is what it is. Can't do that no more. Cannot do that no more. Traveled down, went to some water, and those are some of the best moments that I can recall. To me, my grandfather was the man. So I don't know. I don't know what to tell you guys. But I love seeing moments like that. Yeah, the Bay Bridge. Yeah. You might ain't allowed on the Bay Bridge. He said no fishing line. Nothing, bro. Nothing. Just get in the truck. You know how that go. You fill up the truck in the front, and then everybody pile in the back, and we gone. That's life, bro. Don't do that no more. I want to make sure I'm very clear. Do not do that. It's not legal anymore. You're not allowed to do it for good reasons, but just those moments that you experience when there was a big group, large group of family. Whew. Now that we got the joy out, I want to discuss the fear. You know, there's this false belief of safety for men. There's this false belief of safety for men, right? See, women tend to say we have a level of fear from men because they're bigger and stronger. Most men have a level of fear from other men because they're bigger and stronger. Whether it's talked about or not is beyond the point. But women that are fearful just know there are men that are fearful. But men are not allowed to be fearful. They have to do something else. They have to do something else. And that's what is a little scary. So we're going to discuss that in depth. Prepare yourselves. Because I know you guys are going to say some things that may be heartless. How could you be so heartless? But I want you guys just to listen to the story and put yourself in that environment. All right? Listen up. Let me adjust this. I don't even know what I did, but I'll fix it here. And I'm going to slightly adjust this slightly. Update. Okay. This thing gonna give me trouble. Here we go. Take a listen.
If you are being jumped and you and your shorty together,
Mhm.
do you want her helping you?
Nah.
No.
If anything, she'll have a pistol in the purse.
What do you
from
want
the
her to do?
jump. Nothing. You just gotta let me do this.
So like run away? No, not for real. Like
No,
what do
real
you,
life. I don't get involved in it.
but you wouldn't think like less of her because she ain't help you.
No, I wouldn't.
For sure.
I wouldn't think less.
Now, I just want to set the premise of what the conversation is, just in case some of you might have difficulties hearing it. The question is, if you getting jumped, would you want your shorty? Now, I don't know where they from, shorty. I don't know where they from with shorty, but y'all guys figure out where they're geographically located with that shorty, all right? They said, if you getting jumped, would you want your girl to help? And one guy said, nah. Well, most of them said nope. One guy said, my girl should have the weapon or whatever the case is. I think that was more of a joke personally, right? I think it was. Because I'm going to just tell you this. And you guys let me know if you agree. If a woman is carrying, think about it, because most women don't. She's more likely to help you if you getting jumped, if she has that mentality. Let's just be honest. So she's going to help you. And the woman that's not going to help you or scared or whatever the case is, which she has every right to be, she's probably not going to have nothing on her. You see the two different mentalities? The woman that's ready, she's going to fight too. You see what I'm saying? But a woman that doesn't care, then she might not. So I think he's a little off on that, because I don't think she's going to be able to do nothing for you if she's not helping you when you getting jumped. But the question was, do you want your shorty to help? Not if she would, right? I'm going to say that I do think most women would try to help. Let me say that very clearly. I do believe most women will try to help. But the men do not want you to help. As they said in the video, do not help me, right? And I wonder why they do not want to be helped if they're getting jumped. I wonder why. All right. Let's start it from the beginning, and then we'll get right back to it. Why not?
If you are being jumped and you and your shorty together,
Mhm.
do you want her helping you?
Nah.
No.
If anything, she'll have a pistol in the purse.
What do you
from
want
the
her to do?
jump. Nothing. You just gotta let me do this.
So like run away? No, not for real. Like
No,
what do
real
you,
life. I don't get involved in it.
but you wouldn't think like less of her because she ain't help you.
No, I wouldn't.
For sure.
I wouldn't think less. I probably wouldn't want her to watch though. Don't just watch me get beat up.
I would probably tell her to go to the car though. Like, hey, go to the car.
Now vice versa. Your girl can jump.
I'm whooping the ass.
Her fight is over.
Yeah, it's done. Babe, we got
Her
this.
fight. No, ain't no
Oh, we
we.
winning.
Ain't no we. You
Yeah.
gonna jump my and I'm
Y'all
here.
crazy. I'm knocking the whole front row.
Oh yeah,
out.
she not even fighting no more.
Yeah.
Come
It's
on,
me.
back
It's
up.
me and y'all. Now. Yeah, I swear to God.
I'm gonna whoop
You're not
everybody
yeah,
outside.
Yeah. You're not
nigga.
fighting mine, homie.
That's a
You're not
wrap.
fighting.
Now, I want to know your thoughts on that. I'm just interested in knowing what your thoughts are. Listen to what they said. Listen to what they said. If they shorty getting jumped, I'm knocking everybody out. Whoo-wee. I don't know what to tell you about that, but I think that's a little dangerous. What do you guys think? Do you guys want, if ladies, if you're getting into a confrontation with, let's say, a couple women, because most likely you're going to be getting jumped by a woman, and probably not going to be no guys, do you want your man to knock them out? I'm just curious. Do you want your man to knock them out? Some of the ladies saying, Yeah, we gonna drop this double standard real quick for my benefit. Go ahead, baby. Go ahead and clock them, knock them all clean out. Interesting. Make me a little nervous now. But I'm not shocked. So I want to ask you guys this. And I'm just curious. I know you guys have seen videos, right? Where confrontation happens, and maybe, I don't have a video for this, I wish I did, and maybe a guy runs and leaves his girl behind. Think about this. A guy see, like, let's just say 5 people run up on him. He gets scared. And he runs. Leaves his girl behind. She didn't run fast enough, whatever the case is, right? But it was a bunch of guys. Would you be upset? Would you be upset if the guy got afraid and ran? I'm curious. Would you be upset? Hey, Angela. Would you be upset? Some people said they'd be single after that. If a man leaves me behind, I'd be upset. Okay. Very, very interesting. You win some, you lose. Lauren says you win some, you lose some. Now, let's do the opposite. Let's say confrontation is about to occur and your girl run and leave you behind. Would you be upset? My guess is no. My guess is y'all wouldn't be upset if your girl ran and said, I was afraid. I was afraid. You'd be like, yeah, okay, it was like 10 of them. B-Rose says she shouldn't run. All right, so let's play this out. So are you saying, B-Rose, that if a woman runs, then that man should leave her because she was afraid? I'm curious now, right? Because you want a girl to be feminine and soft, right? Well, most guys say they do. Those women are not necessarily confrontational. Those women are not necessarily aggressive, violent. They may be the softest. Have you ever met somebody? Like, let me give you an example, right? There's a girl, right? And let me just tell y'all, the compilation videos of the female fights are way more entertaining, right? Have y'all ever seen girls get into a confrontation and one girl just clock it and the other girl just sit there and take it and she won't fight back? And the girl just, and she like all in the face and she just hands down, she won't fight back. There are just some women that just don't, they won't fight. They're scared. They're like, oh my God, that's scary. Now, I'm curious. Are you saying that those women should not be in relationships because they're afraid type of people? They have fear. They're not fighters. They're not aggressive. They don't have that in them. Because I would expect a woman, hey, she's scared. I get it. Now, most guys gonna say it probably don't make sense for both of us to get jumped. It probably don't make sense. But I'm just curious. Now, it seems to me that it ain't a lot of room for a man to be afraid. Now, here's the thing. Y'all might say he can be afraid, but he can't act afraid, right? Does that sound about right to y'all? He can be afraid, but he cannot act afraid, right? Does that make sense? I think you guys realize what I'm trying to say. You was afraid, yeah, but you go ahead and attack. Afraid and terrified and all that. Now, let me be honest with you. I'm gonna just say this, right? I am heavily unattracted to women that fight. Heavily unattracted. I don't like UFC. Truth, don't you come up here with the semantics, afraid and fear. I don't care what you can assume whatever you want. Afraid, fear, call it what you want. Either or. Now, I don't like watching women fight. That's to me is disgusting. I'm gonna just be honest with you. It's very disgusting. It is. But we live in this country where you can do what you want to do. So it's just disgusting to me. So when I see women that aren't like that, I like them more. Now, at the same time, would you rather your girl beat somebody up or get beat up? That's a really good question. Now, it all depends. Let me give you the answer. If your girl was talking mess about you before y'all left the house, then you might want her to get beat up. You might be okay with it. Like, it is what it is. You all right? You need some water? Maybe. Maybe, right? But if everything is going well, you probably would want her to win the fight, But then she might think that she could do that to you. So, B Rose, wrestling is a sport, but it's not sexy. Ain't nothing sexy about a woman tackling or grappling another woman, at least not to me. I mean, some guys might get they might get something that I get nothing from that, okay? Nothing. So ladies, if you're not a fighter, no doubt. Now, there are women that look, Uncle Rick said, know how to listen. Some women know how to box. I get it. They dad taught them how to put them dukes up, all right, like Pops and Fridays. So I understand. But I'm just curious. I just don't know when it's okay for a man to be afraid. And I'm going to guess in isolation with nobody around. Because how much can you blame a man for being terrified and running from like 10 guys, 8 guys, big guys, he a little guy? How much do you want from this guy? Is there going to be any level of fear that's allowed? Anything? Can the man just, I ran and not be judged so harshly? How could you judge so harsh? I'm just curious. I'm going to say there's not a space for that. If your girl from Oakland, I already know what it is. Now, I want no problems. No problems. B Rose says, if we running together. Now, B Rose, I can concur with you. I can agree to that. However, I run much faster than my girl. I'm faster than her, right? Most guys is faster than their girl. I ain't really seen people take off running and the women is in the lead, right? Like, let me give you an example. Y'all know how look, hold on, let me make sure it's black folks up in here. We got any black folks up in here? All right, so this is specifically for the black folks, right? Because this is how they act in these situations. You ever see like a whole bunch of people running and you start running too? Because you like, I don't know what's going on, but we watched enough movies and we know we're not going that away. And we just start running and we catch up. What's going on? What's going on? Ain't no women leading that pack. So when there's a level of fear, you flight gone, girl gonna get left behind. Like, what you gonna half run? Come on now. You can't half run when you're an Olympic sprinter, all right? We run fast. Come on, you hold come on, ladies now. So B Rose ain't gonna be us running together. I'm gonna just tell you that now. One of us gonna be all the way gone, and the other one's gonna be like, wait for me. And like in every good movie, the guy goes back, he's the hero. I'm coming back to save you. And then, of course, right when he pulls you ahead of him, somebody clock him, and then they take him and drag him away. And now you left safe, right? Of course, that's what you want. What's the point of me running so fast if I can't use that speed to my advantage? Like, nobody catching Deion Sanders. Nobody catching Tyreek Hill. Nobody catching them. But if they girl there, they got to slow down. Instead of running a 4.3, they got to run a 6.8 or something. No, that's not going to work. It's not going to work, ladies. Either you allow a man to be afraid and you guys run the same. My gentlemen, I just come to this revelation right now. Gentlemen, we have standards, okay? We have standards. Now, we understand that women want their equal. All right? Now, we need to extend that, gentlemen. Men, y'all want y'all equal to. If your girl can't run as fast as you or a little bit faster, you can't be with her. Nope, you can't be with her at all. If your girl can't run as fast as you, it ain't going to work. We not equals. We need to, listen, we need to run just about the same. I think that's fair now. Y'all want the equality thing is there. I think that is within fair for you to run. If I run a 4.3, you better be like a 4.4, very close. Because if you too far behind, I don't think it's gonna work. So, gentlemen, we're gonna start putting women through the combine. Okay, so you're gonna get all the measurements, and then you're gonna track their speed. Because in certain circumstances, you may need them to be able to move quick. And so I think that's something we've been avoiding as men, and it's putting us in a lot of terrible situations. Let me give y'all the example. When we was young and we was throwing rocks at cars, not me, and then the car was stopped and we start running, we with our homies, we both running fast. We both going like they can't catch us. Wasn't no girls around. So like, you get to a standard that when the guys is running, we get away with a whole bunch of stuff. We ain't in these bad circumstances, okay? Because we get up out of there, jumping over the fence. Woo, we gone. Then we get with a lady, and now we in trouble. Now we can't run fast no more. Why? Because you slow? Because you don't know how to run a 4.4? It's not fair. It's not fair. I'm starting to think y'all don't have a safe space for the men to be afraid. Now, I know what the men gonna say. You can't leave your girl behind. You ain't a real man. You ain't allowed to be afraid. You have to go out there and accept your fate. And most likely that's boots on your forehead, broken ribs, all that good stuff. Where if you would have ran very fast, you have a nice intact body. You wouldn't have much issues there. Like your legs would still work. You wouldn't have no Timberland imprints on your head. None of that. But because society doesn't give us a level and a safe place to be afraid, we got to go and get these scars. We got to get these scars, okay? And I don't think it's relatively fair, but it is society. It is a society we live in, but I don't believe it. Hold on, Either Man says, I get it now. Y'all never lost a fight because y'all be running. That's a fact. A lot of guys, well, I can't say a lot of guys do run because that's society they don't have a lot of room for you running. But I will say you should be allowed to run. Hold on. Wait, Either Man, you don't think you should be allowed to run? See, you also supporting this behavior. So you think if a man is afraid, he shouldn't run? Yeah, this is crazy. This is crazy. So, all right, let's simplify this because I knew what y'all would do. I knew where y'all would take them. Now, let's say that a mother is walking with her 14-year-old son and a bunch of, odd fellows approached him and he gets afraid and he dipped. I'm gone. And that kid is an Olympic athlete, right? He's an Olympic athlete training. He's prepared to go to Junior Olympics, all that good stuff. He gone. Leave his mom. Pew, pew. Now, is that kid wrong for using his Olympic speed to get up out of that fearful situation? Or y'all gonna say he's not supposed to leave? I'm curious to know what y'all think about that. Y'all really don't know how fast 4.3 speed is. That's what I think y'all having trouble with. That's what I think y'all having trouble with. Y'all really don't know how fast 4.3 speed is. I'm just curious. I'm just curious. Now, as y'all type in these toxic comments about children not being allowed to be afraid and asking them to do what men do, why do y'all think children are not men? Look at what y'all saying, because of course we know y'all would say that, right? A man ain't allowed to do this, but neither is a child. And I'm going to tell y'all why. Y'all prove it every day. There ain't no space for a young boy to be a boy. All it takes is the right situation, and y'all turn him into a man. I'm not saying that's right or wrong. I'm just telling y'all that's what y'all do. Really don't make no difference if you're 14, 25, the same thing. Y'all have the same expectations of a child to what a man is, because you see a child as a man. Oh, let me guess. Now y'all might have to backpedal a little bit and go, oh, I better be careful with that. I better be careful with that, because I keep telling people, let these children be children. Stop having them be putting them in grown folks' position. So, how many of you now are going to still say your child should not run when they're afraid and they have fear? Why shouldn't they run away and leave you there? You guys will sit there and ponder that. But I'll tell you this, it would make sense why we need some therapy, okay? Uh-oh. Hey, Rick, you already know. You already know what there are no children when it comes to boys. You know what? They are exactly what you say, young men. Hey, Diamond. Diamond says, good morning, Aaron. I'm still asleep. Have a good day. It's 4 a.m. Well, make sure you get some sleep, Diamond, okay? Everybody knows I love that name, Diamond. It's one of my favorite names. Love C says, at this point, I can't imagine any scenario where this happens. And thankfully, this isn't a situation. But here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. And let's just be honest. If it was a 14-year-old, 13-year-old girl, whatever, and she ran, and she was an Olympic athlete and ran, nobody would say anything. Oh, yeah, I was terrified. I was scared. I just started running. Well, what about? I don't know. Okay, all right, let me go see what's going on. I want you guys just to ponder and think about how many times of this situation does it occur where you guys claim that boys are children, but every opportunity where they should have the ability to cower and do what children should be free to do, they are the exclusion. They are the ones that get catapulted into manhood. It was at this time you have to become a man. And it's almost alarming how dishonest and less forthcoming in these conversations people are when it comes to this. Stop telling that's my little boy. It's not. We see what's going on. We see what's truly happening. There is no space for a man to be afraid, because you are not a man if you're afraid. You are definitely not a man if you show your fear, act on your fear, or any of that. You're not a man. So I could imagine walking out in this world knowing that people are lying to my face. It's okay. It's okay to be afraid. It's okay to show emotions. It's okay. It's okay. You're human. but have a secondary category for the type of human that I am. Yeah, we all human, but you a special breed of human. You the sacrificial human. We can't adjust the standards on that. We apologize. You a man, right? Just deal with it. I don't want to hear no excuses. You just got to deal with it. Terrified. Terrifying to know that it's all about circumstances when they want to try to belittle you. Oh, you just a boy. You don't know nothing. No, I'm not a boy. That y'all know that famous little viral video, right? Of the little boy. I think he got like a wife beater on with the little Sprite in his hand, and you see his actions are kind of like what his dad probably. I'm a man, you know, the little boy. I'm a man. I can't find it. Y'all know the one I'm talking about. Think about that. How many of y'all was laughing at him? I'm a real man. Yeah. Y'all know the clip I'm talking about. How many of y'all was laughing and thinking, dang, what is he watching his dad do? This, that. Don't matter. I just want you guys to understand, walking out in this world, knowing that there are other men that could literally crush you with their bare hands, but you're not allowed to be afraid of them. Now, you may be afraid of them. You may even do things, but if you are afraid, they gonna tell you, ain't no space in this world for you, buddy. Take it like a man. Take it like a man. At some point, high levels of therapy will be needed. But y'all know what y'all say. Most men are adverse to therapy, et cetera, right? Here's the scary part. Could you imagine how many ways they have to tear you down and discuss with you of what being a man truly is? And you just have to accept the image, the stigma that they place upon you because you can't really combat it. Imagine you building up the courage, the confidence to try to break particular images, curses, etc. And you say, I'm going to go to therapy. And I'm going to discuss this stuff, right? And let's say you go there, right? Maybe you find a program. They help you with the costs because a lot of us are discouraged because of the cost, and I understand that. That's why a lot of people rely on this teletherapy that exists through music. It's easier to ascertain music, but let's say you do it and you go in there and you say, look here, I believe I'm a man. And that therapist says, you are a man. Don't let nobody tell you that you're not a man. Nobody determines that. You're a man. Especially no woman, right? Ain't no woman gonna tell you not a man. But let's just say you and then a therapist tell you you're a man, right? And you tell your therapist, can a man that has fear and that are afraid have a family? Nah, buddy. No, you cannot have no family because you can't be afraid and you can't be fearful as a man and have a family. It's out. So you're only a man if you're a single man. But once you get a family, fear is not acceptable. Being afraid is not acceptable. You can't have none of those actions. So, for example, right? Let's say you've been told the way y'all men think is bad. Y'all been given wrong information. This is why y'all overly aggressive. Y'all don't know how to express yourself. Right? And the men know that the information we're receiving is going to hurt us. Man, we know I can't be soft. I know y'all telling me I could be I know y'all telling me I could do this. I know y'all saying I could be soft. I'm human. I know. I know y'all telling me that the way we've been taught through the patriarch, whatever you want to call it, y'all been taught wrong. You're human. Don't let them lie to you. And let's just say you go in there and you go in there and you say, I've been told we reject therapy. We don't think we need it. We don't think we need it, right? Let's just say you do one of the bravest things you could do. And you concede and say, you're right. You're right. That information that was said about how men are supposed to be is wrong. And they lying to us. And I will no longer believe that. I'm a man, regardless. With anybody, they can say whatever they want. I'm a man, right? You go in there, you take the therapy, you accept it. The therapist says, look, if you're afraid, you have fear, it's okay. And don't you let nobody tell you that it's not. You go in there and you say, you know what? I'm doing what they telling me to do to be a better man. They telling me the way that we was doing things is the wrong way. And I have to start changing and adjusting because this is toxic, right? So I embrace it. I do it because I think I'm trying to do something that a lot of other men are afraid of. So I accept what the therapist tells me. And I get into a situation. And I'm with my family. Life is good. I met a wonderful person. We got 2 children. And the last 8 years have been phenomenal. My job has been going well. I've been doing really well. We just moved into a nice bigger house because my girl was complaining about the size of the kitchen and then we ain't got another room for the child. And I've been working overtime, spending every ounce with my kids when I'm off of work, doing what I got to do, right? But I'm still going to therapy. I'm working on being this way, and I'm being much more open, listening more, being more expressive, all those things that's been requested, right? And I've gave in to this therapy. I believe in it. Now, I get in a situation in one of the highest levels of fear and being afraid comes across my body. And I was told I'm human, right? I'm allowed to be human because everybody else can be whatever they want. A donkey, they can be a dragon, they can be whatever they want. I'm human, right? I'm human. And in that moment, as a human being, I become fearful and afraid and I run. Y'all call it flight or flight. I run, right? Nothing happens. Those guys, for example, gets all in my wife's face and say, let's just say wife, girl, whatever you want to call it, and say, yo man, a wuss. He ran and left you here. You know what I could do to you? Get all in her face, and she's terrified and she's stuck. She's frozen. She's frozen in time because she knows that she wants to run, but she's frozen. The sight of your 4.3, 4.4 speed and the fear over your face just disappear. Gone. And she's frozen. And that fear that she has, right? Those guys did nothing to her. They just made her afraid. Okay. It's not a safe space for her, right? She comes home and she goes, I cannot believe you left me. I cannot believe you left me. And in that moment, she goes, you left me? You left for an 8-year-old? What kind of man are you? What type of man are you? And you say, I'm sorry. I apologize. In that moment, I was terrified. This fear came across me. All this, I just panicked and I ran. I apologize. I'm sorry. And she goes, "You're not a real man. You are not because a real man would never be afraid. And even if he was afraid, you just stay there and die. You take whatever that was going to come with it because that's what a man would do. So I'm taking our children and we're leaving. And I want a divorce. And he goes back to the therapist. And the therapist, and he says, I did everything you told me to do. Oh no, Angela, man, don't be shocked at all. You be shocked. A lot of men have ran more than you ever know. And he says, listen, I embraced it. I did what you told me to do. I panicked. I allowed myself to be human, and I'm going to lose everything now. I'm going to lose everything from that one moment. We had 6 years together, and I'm going to lose everything. Do you see how complex that conversation can be?
Yeah, I think don't listen to these therapists. You go to therapy for your wife to get better, not for the man to get better. I know a lot of people want to paint this world that men have the ability to express their emotions in this world, which is just crap. We got to realize that at 13 years old, if that's when we become a man. Because the funny part about it, if you in the courtroom, they don't look at you as a child at 13. My little brother got locked up at 13. They charged him as a man. So the world see us as men, but everybody else want to pacify us and tell us that we're still children. I grew up really fast, really quick. At 13, I became a man, and I think that should be the actual norm. Because if we go to most other cultures, at 13 is when they start telling their young boys, now it's time for you to be a man.
I don't know if we live in a society where that is. It may be beneficial to people, but it sounds insane in actual verbiage. What you mean you're gonna tell a 13-year-old that they're a man? No. You let that's the problem that we had now. Y'all force these kids to grow up too fast. Their brain's not developed. I don't know what to agree or disagree, but I'm just accepting what society is revealing to us. I don't know if that's something that people would be accepting of.
But see, that's what I'm saying. They have already accepted it. If you sit in a courtroom and a 13-year-old is being charged as an adult, it shows that the law have accepted it. Only people that's pacifying it is his mama. I'm telling you the truth is like we gotta stop looking at. I know in our minds we want to say that these are still kids. It was one point in time that it was no such thing as teenager. You went from being a kid to an adult. We put a bridge there that didn't need to be there. Why? Can you explain to me why in other cultures they actually say that these are men? Why do they go through these types of tests to prove their manhood or parties to celebrate their manhood? It's no such thing as teenagers. It's something we made up because we want kids to stay kids. We're not ready to let them go. At 13, a woman's body started completely changing. And I know a lot of people are not going to like what this sounds like, but this is what we really should be talking about, that you supposed to be going into manhood at 13.
That's what a bar mitzvah is.
It's a bit of a different time to see that.
You said it's a bit of a different time?
Yeah, Brother Resley, your mic sounds a little low.
Sorry, I'm getting late feedback.
Yeah, I think you got a delay, Res.
Let me fix that.
There it is. That's good.
Yeah, try to adjust that. True, is that you, brother?
Yes, sir, little bro. This me.
All right, man.
But the crazy part about it, all the other coaches that says that, hey, they're 13, they're running circles around our boys. They're running circles because our boys, they got a 5-year head start. And then we complain about it. We really need to come to an understanding that, hey, why are we babysitting these kids when the world will not babysit you? That's the reality that a boy hit when his mama telling him the world is some kind of way, and then we go out into the real world, they say, nah, bro, we see you totally different. Nah, we just need to start being honest.
I don't know how you argue that. I don't know. I mean, here's one, I won't call it a fear, but a concern is you now have a United States military full of personnel who got trophies just because they made it from the car to the field. The rest of the world is not on that. Unruly women, the rest of the world is not on that. Lazy ass workers, the rest of the world is not on that. And either man is exactly right. The rest of the world, watch 300. At the beginning of 300, they are training a little boy. This dude barely got hair on his balls, and he is out hunting a wolf. He has to go out with just a spear and come back or don't. We don't have no come back or don't anymore. And what's going to happen, and what you're talking about is there's a saying, I'm looking it up now, quote by Michael Hopf: strong men create hard times, create strong men. Strong men create good times. Good times create weak men, and weak men create hard times. We are in the weak men created hard times cycle, part of the cycle. And what's about to happen is the shit is going to hit the fan and eat a gang of these weak people.
And the reason that I agree so much with what he's saying is because I really thought my parents hated me. I thought my father hated me. I thought my mother hated me because the summer when I turned 13, that summer they sent me off with my grandfather, and for 14-hour days every day in the summer he had me working
on your ass.
And he was working. I was working at this construction site. I'm telling you, I was at 13. I was crying. I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you. I was crying. I was frustrated. My body hurting. I was an athlete. My body hurted in ways that I have never heard it before. And he made me do it over and over and over. And we was in Georgia. We talking 100-degree weather over and over. And then when I look at myself now, I say that was the best thing that could have happened to me because he understood that I had to grow up and he knew how to make me into a man. That's what he knew. Like, I can't argue that he didn't know those things. He knew what it was to be a man, and what he saw manhood was the construction. You know what it taught me to do?
Hold on, Eater man. Hold on. I got a question. So what you telling me then is that there was a goddamn grown-ass man that loved you unconditionally because you were the seed of his seed, but he didn't give a fiddler's fuck about your tears.
Not at all. He told me you better suck it up.
Better suck it up. He ain't gonna kill you. That man loved you, but he gave you tough love, which is why you a grown ass man now, and why so many soft ass these dudes with the mushroom haircut, guaranteed soft ass. That don't have that you can kind of tell the dudes that don't go to the barbershop is walking around with that sideshow Bob ass bullshit haircut. Most of them dudes ain't about shit. They soft as baby shit. Because they have been told that fear is something to fold from, and it is not. Fear is not something to fold from, nor is it something to be ridiculed. Fear is something to be controlled. This is what the Marines don't teach you to be fearless. They teach you to be in control of your fear. The Army does not teach you to be fearless. They teach you to be in control of your fear. That's the disconnect where are men allowed to be afraid? That's a polarizing question. And it's not your fault for asking it. it is a society that has turned fear into a bad thing when really it's a fantastic motivator. If you're nervous and you know what you're doing, you about to kick ass. If you nervous and you don't know what you're doing, oh, you in a world of shit.
Yeah, Tyson. Every time before he fought, he said he was afraid.
So yeah, let's just dispense with everybody thinking fear is a bad thing and everybody browbeating you about fear. That's not true. It's not true, and it's not accurate of any man. Any man who leads men does not think that way. You may think they think that way because of what the perception you've been given, but that's bullshit. Every man I respect has admitted being afraid of something.
Yeah, of course, that's a fact. Every man.
I think being afraid is acceptable, but
Can't hear you, Aaron.
Can I hear me?
There you go.
Okay. So I think being afraid is reasonable to people, but acting on it is not.
It all depends on the situation. Like that question you asked, and I think that's a situational question, especially when it comes to like a woman jumping in to help you or protect you, however y'all want to put it. I think that's a situational question. I think it all depends on the person you with. You got to know the person you with. So sometimes fear, it could be a situation that you in pertaining to fear, and it's reasonable for you to run. And I don't think your lady should say nothing to you if you had to run in that situation. But there are situations where you could be scared, but you need to be a man and handle your business. If you run in a situation like that.
Well, hold on. I want to answer Aaron's question. You can act on your fears. I remember times that I acted on my fears. I remember 21 when a guy had jumped out of the woods and I punched him in the face. That was a reaction because I was scared when he jumped out the woods. You can act on it. We just typically don't want men to act cowardly based on their fears. That's the difference.
Interesting enough. Okay.
But I'm just saying, like, if I went to the club and my homeboy took off running, it's a problem. I'm just telling you, it is a problem, especially if I'm getting jumped. Like it's certain times that you just gotta stand up.
Wait a minute. Who? Okay. Yeah, you're right. And maybe I bet I felt like this before I joined the Marines because I grew up on the South Side. But if you ran from a fight in town as a Marine and you left another Marine, I don't know what base you going back to.
That's a fact. That's facts.
I don't know what base you finna go back to. And this is not about I ain't Superman, bro. I ain't Superman. But if it come down to it, there is a such thing as a glorious death. As long as I don't die by myself. As long if this is it, then the first one I put my hands on, I don't care what they do to me. I've actually said that to get out of a fight. I almost had to fight 3 skinheads one night. And long story short, I said, I don't know what y'all gonna do to me and I don't care. But you with the big mouth, I am going to kill you. This is your last night. I promise you. Y'all will not kill me before I kill you. I'm ready to die, are you? I've lived a good life. At some point, you got to reach down and find your balls or get them snipped off. And nobody dependent. You can ask my wife. Nobody depending on me gives a fiddler's fuck about what I'm afraid of. Nobody.
That's a fact, and that's what it comes down to.
Nobody. Man up.
But I do want to let you guys. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying that's a situational. That's situational too. Like, I ain't dying. Like, so you think there's no situation where you should run ever?
Who said that? Who, me? I ain't never said that.
Yeah, when you were saying. Oh, okay. I thought that's what you were saying when you were saying.
No,
like, you know what I'm
but
saying?
there are situations where I cannot run. Here's a situation I won't run from. If I'm out in town, this is why I pick my friends carefully. If I'm out in town and somebody's finna hurt one of my friends, brother, I'm not running from that unless we can run from it.
You can't run from that. You can't run from that.
No, but
run from that.
the genius is that at my age, I've learned how to smell the wrong place. What a lot of young dudes want is they want to be at the wrong place at the right time, and there's no such thing.
Right.
There are some places that you know are wrong fucking places, and you find yourself in them, and that don't have nothing to do with nobody but you and your fucking ego.
All right, what about this? Is it a situation where you would be okay with your old lady jumping in if you get jumped?
Say again?
Would there ever be a situation where you would be okay with your old lady jumping in if you get
absolutely, unequivocally not. Ever.
I'm different there.
Ever. Because number one, I can promise you that there will never ever be a situation that I will put my mate in where she would have to do that. Ever. Unless you are talking about an apocalyptic situation where a zombie is about to eat me and she has a shotgun, well, that's one thing. If you are discussing a social situation in a society that the fabric has not frayed that far on, like the one we are in now, I can with 110% clarity tell you that I will never, ever have my wife in a situation where she has to defend me because I don't go to places like that.
Hold on. I want to clear something up. I am very pro de-escalating situations, right?
Yes.
If you can de-escalate it, cool. But if my back is against the wall, I just happen to be somewhere where my back is against the wall, and me and my wife there, my expectations, we came together, we leaving together. Like that's just my thing. Now, I'm not gonna judge her based off the decisions that she made, but I think my wife got my back and I got her back, and I done seen this in real life situations. But you're right that we shouldn't put our wives in that situation. But I don't see my wife just turning and running, especially from something that can cause harm to me.
Well, that's two different questions. That's two different.
Oh,
that's not the question I was asked. I was is there a situation
where you'll be okay with her?
Where I would be okay? Well, yeah, if we're cornered by zombies, maybe.
No, real life situation.
Yeah. Oh no, no. There's not one.
I'll be okay. I kind of feel like E-Man though, because I'll be okay with my old lady jumping in because I have equipped her to be able to jump in.
Okay.
You know, she got pepper spray in her purse.
Mine too.
She got a taser.
Well, I got to ask you, brother. I got to ask you. Where are these places that you taking your old lady that she might need that while she with you?
But this is a hypothetical. Let's be honest. Like my wife don't get in these type situations. How Aaron asked the question. Yeah, how Aaron asked the question, what if this happened? We agree with you, when we saying our wife would never. I can never see my wife in this situation. But if it did happen, do I think my wife's going to jump in, or I think my wife is going to not jump in? I think my wife gonna say, "Hey, my wife." I'm pretty sure she's gonna try to de-escalate it as easy as possible, right? That's my wife is really good at that.
Let me ask y'all this: do you think you can fight without transforming to an assertive and aggressive person? Like, do you think you can defend yourself without those things?
Absolutely. Like, I don't have to be angry to fight.
Okay, wait. He didn't say angry.
He didn't say angry.
Can you fight without being assertive? I don't know how you do that. Those people perish. Those people are supposed. That's when nature eats the weak. No, you cannot. If you find yourself in a position to defend yourself, I know if I do, I have no intention on doing anything other than either extreme bodily harm or death to the person in front of me, because and we can figure it out in court. I'm not going when I'm a grown man, but I'm 58 years old. I could get into this altercation and hit my head on the ground and die, or worse, be paralyzed, and now my wife got to haul me around. I'm gambling all of that on trying to be civil with you. No, I am going to take a small, sharp object and try to cut you under your armpit,
all right,
inside of your knee, and make you bleed out.
All right. That's enough graphics. Now, the reason I asked the question is this: if you believe your woman should support you, in that sense, meaning she's probably going to attack, right? She's going to be a level of aggression and being assertive, right? Wouldn't we attribute those things to like a masculine mentality? Or do you believe women?
No.
That's survivalist.
Correct.
Hold on, what you about to say? Or do you believe women what? What was you about
Or
to say?
do you believe that women should be fighting too?
Absolutely. I think they should fight too.
So
because I think we live in this world that, you know, women don't have to fight now because we live in a first world country. But yeah, if she's in a situation that she have to know how to protect herself, she should. That's why I'm not against my daughters learning self-defense class and taekwondo and these different things. Like, we live in a world that you should be able to protect yourself. Now, I'm not saying that you should be aggressive, but you should be able to protect yourself in all situations.
Eat a man. I hate to cut you off, but if you have your children in taekwondo for self-defense, stop that mistake today. That shit is useless. It's cute, but it is absolutely useless in self-defense. Absolutely.
Karate good.
Bro, I have a black belt in the martial art, and I'm telling you that any kicks above your waist is a waste of time. Most fights are only about 30 seconds long, and most of them wind up on the ground. Get your daughters in Brazilian jiu-jitsu. It's where you learn leverage, where your daughter, trained properly, can subdue a 225-pound man. Stop with that taekwondo shit. It's cute, but it'll get you killed.
So let's keep it. So y'all, in a sense, are saying women should, or for the most part, be fighting men.
No, I'm not saying they should be fighting men. I'm saying they should be prepared to defend themselves and get away from men.
Correct.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Okay, but to tap into that level of defense, you agree is going to take a level of being assertive and aggression and things like that, because you not having that tends to be a horrible defense, right? You probably not going to, so we typically equate those things with men. Are you saying those things are genderless? Those are for both men and women.
Survival is genderless.
Thank you.
This is not necessarily right. Okay. Do y'all think when people get into a confrontation, do you think they go into survival mode, meaning that they think this is a life or death situation?
And today, yes,
they should.
Not about what they should. I'm saying
I would say in my perspective, yes, because especially with the mob mentality that we see today, you can't afford to not look at it as if your life is not on the line.
So I can tell you this: I've never met a woman that thinks when she about to get into a fight, it's life or death.
It all depends on the intensity. It all depends on the context of the situation.
Yeah, I don't know what you're getting at, Aaron. I'm confused. Are you talking about foul mouth, cantankerous ass gutter snipes that start shit, or are you talking about either man's wife or my wife? Classy women who are not going to start any altercation but find themselves in peril. Because if that's what you're talking about, just like a female wolf or a female bear or a female wolverine or goddammit, a female sparrow, they will protect themselves.
Listen, I'm not talking about a single man. Like, even a single man will be surrounded by a bunch of hyenas.
Yeah.
He has to protect himself.
I don't know. It seems like you're mixing a life or death situation with what did that bitch say? Now, then what did that bitch say, heifers? I don't give a fuck what happens to them. They can tear each other's fucking eyes out for all I care. The earth is better without them. If you are discussing classy, educated, articulate, well-kept, tactful women who find themselves in danger, you goddamn right they're supposed to have some way to protect themselves. And they're supposed to find aggression from somewhere. If you're talking about these heifers that wind up on World Star in the fucking middle of the afternoon and they draws in a fight, fuck them. No, not talking about them. Whatever happens to them, happens to them.
But when we look at the lion, I know people don't like comparing to animals. We don't call the lion not a female because she's aggressive to protect her cubs. Like, I actually think protection of their kids is something that they have, which is a form of an aggression that is to women, not just men.
It's human nature.
But don't tie it to children, because then you're saying children are direct tied to if a woman is a woman or a female. See what I'm saying?
Go back to that lioness. If that lioness
What about loved one in general?
Surrounded by hyenas, they fight to get away. No cubs. They fight until there's an opening to be able to run.
Okay. Do the males do that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so that has nothing to do with them being a female then. Okay.
What are you getting at?
I
don't understand what point you're driving at. I'm confused here.
I think they should look at it as a life or death situation, depending on the intensity of the confrontation, right?
Yeah.
It's different levels to a confrontation, you know what I'm saying? That all depends on how intense it is, the context, like what's being said. It all depends on that. So if you go a little bit deeper, like what's being said and stuff like that.
Circumstantial.
Sure.
It is.
It's a case by case basis, but I need to find out who we're talking about, because it sounds like you may think we are excusing the behavior of horrible broads because they want to fight. No, that's not. I don't think that's what we're saying. If that's what you think we're saying, I don't give a shit if one of them loses an eye.
There's a difference between somebody protecting themselves and somebody actually being confrontational.
How about that?
Absolutely.
How about that?
Okay, so what you're saying then is that women should only be in these circumstances when they're protecting themselves. In other areas, that's not something women should be doing
at all.
But I would
reasonably agree with that. Yeah,
I mean,
but I would argue men too. Men don't supposed to be just going around slapping people and aggressive. It's supposed to be more.
No, I wasn't saying it was just synonymous with them. I'm saying, yeah, across the board, you should. Most of the time, you should only be in a situation where it's protective. Like,
yeah, either you're defending yourself or you're the aggressor.
Yeah,
I never said if you can't flee, don't. Been a couple of times that I have fled, because you gotta assess the situation. Because sometimes, yes, you can really get hurt, man.
Yeah,
I'm just not turning my back to you and running away from you, and I already know you got ill will. I
said flee. I ain't say turn and run.
I mean, for the military man on the panel, like, what happened to strategic retreat?
How about that?
There we go. Okay.
Y'all can say whatever y'all want. My fat ass ain't running. Listen, if I can't make it to my car and drive off or de-escalate, we fight. We fight.
Like, if your aunt had balls, she'd be your uncle.
Oh shit.
Hold up, Uncle Jeff. Don't you guys, because y'all in the military,
how you gonna strategically get about it?
Y'all supposed to access all exits.
Okay.
All routes, like it's like actually things that you do in training for that.
Brother True. This is, I don't give a shit where I go, especially when I go with my wife or my children. When I walk in a building, I look at where are the exits?
Correct.
I close my eyes while I do this. Where are the exits? In the event of a fire, which way would I go? In the event of an active shooter, which way would I go? And how many people will I perhaps have to kill to get out of here? And what will I use? Is what you learned that in the 3rd week of United States Marine Corps boot camp in the 80s, bro. In the 80s. So you don't, I ain't on no John Wick shit. They taught us all this in the fucking 80s.
I don't know
But
why.
see, no, so hold on. Let's be clear. Listen.
Taught how to address a room.
No, I get it. No,
The way that
hold
you
on.
come,
Wait,
it's
now,
not going to be always the way that you can go out.
How about that?
hold on. We are not talking about an active shooter situation. We're not talking about a conflict. We're talking about you're in a position where you're backed into some places. You have to fight. It's no running. It's just certain things that you can't run from. I'm not saying that somebody else have. Like I have awareness that I know what's going on in the room. It's time that I got my wife and say, hey, it's time for us to go. This right here ain't shaking out. I'm not saying that you shouldn't have that awareness, but somebody is engaging you in conflict. It's no running at that point. That running thing is out of the question at that point.
Corner eater, man. If you corner, you have to protect yourself.
Yeah.
But if you're not cornered, sometimes you need to get up out of there.
Okay. Let's shift a little bit. Let's talk about other fears that men could have. Afraid of being a father. Afraid of not being able to provide. Afraid of not being able to protect.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir. That's the nightmare.
Yes, sir.
Oh, man.
I'm afraid of going
That's
broke.
the nightmare right there. Every active father, that's those 3 things.
Afraid of not owning up, afraid of not measuring up in any way.
Afraid of the unknown, period.
I got some fears. I'm not afraid of spiders. I don't know the poisonous ones from the non-poisonous ones. And I'm afraid that if I don't kill this spider in front of me, it may bite one of them. And now that's on me. So any spider in my house got to go. I'm afraid. What else am I afraid of? I'm afraid that this is one I really have to deal with. I'm afraid of somebody I love losing their life, and I'm not there to stand in the breach for them.
Yeah.
I'm afraid of that, brother. I'm afraid of what. I'm afraid of a home invasion while my wife is here. Not me. Let them come. Let's see if what I've been trained all these years is bullshit. Let's put it to the test. I'm willing to die for what's in my house. Are you willing to die to take it? That's what I'm afraid of that. If my wife is here, I got to tell her, here, take the shotgun, get in the bathtub, say the call word. If you don't hear the response word, I want you to shoot right through that wall first and then shoot right through this door. Those are my wife's rules in my house if there is a home invasion.
Okay. And so here's the thing, right? Are you saying that it's okay, even if you're afraid, you should still go through with doing those actions, right? So
yes.
Okay. So you're saying even if women are afraid to be bad mothers, they should still become mothers.
Okay.
Well, can I say something real quick, Uncle Jeff, before you?
Sure. These are easy, guys. These are easy. Aaron does this all the time.
I wanted to go back to what AO has said initially about being a father. One thing that I did once my children became like about around like 4 or 5, I did I would say like weekly evaluations for myself where I would talk to them because my fear is becoming inadequate. Even though if you build that relationship with your children, they're going to look at you like a hero regardless. But I want to make sure I'm doing the best job I can do as a father. So I constantly ask them, what can I improve on? What can I do? What do you need more? And, early on, they ain't say too much. more time, want to do this. Hey, let's go to the park right now, stuff like that. But as they got older, it was a little bit more things that they had, you know, lapses of understanding about. So we had to re-go over. And those type of things.
Yeah.
What you about to say, Eden, man?
I'm trying to understand. So we'll finish that thought before I say what I say.
No, go ahead and say what you was about to say.
No, so I think like if you have someone attacking your house, kind of what you're saying, y'all
No,
should almost
I wasn't talking about attacking a house. Aaron asked about fear in other ways as far as being a father. He named 3 things. I was saying the fear for me is the inadequacy of not living up to the standard that my children have created for me as being this hero. Sometimes they'll look at you as in a flawless state, but then as they get older, they start seeing certain things. And then that's when they start learning as time go on, like, okay, it's much more than life than, getting the things that I want. There are consequences to every choice. Consequence is not a negative thing.
Well, every hero become a villain in certain people's eyes at some time. You just got to be around the hero long enough. Like we saw it with Batman, we saw it with Superman, we saw it with every hero. So even in the movies, they teaches us that you're going to be the villain. My biggest thing as a father, I just want to equip you to be able to think for yourself, to be able to be self-efficient, and to be able to operate on your own mind. I don't have a problem with my kids getting in trouble. I have a problem with my kids getting in trouble because they was following somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the thing is, if I can teach you how to think for yourself, that's the most valuable thing I have ever taught you as a father. Whether you like me, because you know what? I didn't like my grandpa. I didn't like him at that time, but then I loved them later on in life. Like this idea of them liking us, it's just, it doesn't matter because that feeling change all the time.
Well, those type of things I never had really a problem as far as liking. We've always had a consistent relationship. Still to this day, the communication is even greater.
That's what I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I talked to my grandpa all the time, and I didn't like him. Like it wasn't this idea that the relationship was there. When my grandfather was the type of man, I can call him and say, "Hey, I'm in a tight band. I need $750." He'd say, "All right, bam, bam," and he'll hang up the phone. And I knew for a fact if my phone died at 1%, that $750 is going to be where I needed to be at. He was the most dependable person I know. But it's just certain times I didn't like him because he was stretching me. When you're doing the stretching with your kids, it's just, it doesn't feel good from the child point of view. It didn't feel good.
But looking back, you saw that value.
About from your standpoint, my children are older than yours, so it's a little bit different now. My children will be graduating.
Okay. So, well, brother, true. If I got to push back a little bit in E-Man's favor because either man's favor. My oldest son will be 40 December 3rd. I had to say this in court to a judge that I'm not here to be my children's friend. I'm here to develop my children into the type of people I would be friends with. So I want you to like your friends. If your kids don't ever dislike you, you're a shitty parent. If your kids can always, I used to say this about parents. If you can always do what you want to do and you got kids, you suck as a parent. You suck. You don't ever have to not go nowhere. You don't have to cut out the movies for the first 5 years of that child's life. That means you one of them people dragging your kids to the movies, fucking it up for everybody else. You're a horrible parent. There's going to be sometimes you don't have to say no.
Bit of extreme on both.
Let's dial it back some. So, if men are afraid to protect, don't you think they shouldn't put themselves in situations where they have to protect people?
No, because now you just got rid of firemen, policemen, the military, parents.
Men are called to protect.
So, if men are afraid to provide for women, then they probably shouldn't deal with women. That's what I hear a lot, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
So That's a circumstances when y'all agree to it. But when it comes to
I agree to protection too. If you are afraid to protect, you should not put yourself in that position.
Exactly.
I agree.
Aaron's 100% right.
Yeah. You're talking about a coward.
Common sense right there.
You're talking about a coward.
Jeff? Hold on.
You're talking about cowards.
You would call them a coward?
Any man who
Uh-huh.
will not swallow his fear and protect what he loves is a fucking coward.
Or
That's
do
what
he
I'm
love
saying.
it, though? Or do he love it at all, Uncle Jeff?
What's that?
No, Uncle Jeff,
that's
that
the
is not
question.
what Aaron
Or
is
do he
saying.
love it at all if he won't protect it? I don't believe.
Yeah,
you can
I
love
believe
something-
cowards love. I believe cowards have love. It's just cowardice in his love.
No, but no,
Oh, no,
Uncle
I
Jeff, I think we got to really listen to what Aaron is saying. If I know that I'm inefficient in the area, is it smart for me to avoid this area? The answer is yes.
Yes.
So we can call him a coward, but say, for example, if he never in that situation, we can never, what we can say is in his heart, we can say that it's in his mind, but he never had to act on that. It's actually pretty wise to stay away from stuff.
He's actually not a coward at that point for being wise enough to understand his position. And not
I disagree.
That's why
I disagree.
Because there are people who will make decisions willfully knowing that they're unprepared. He's actually know that he's unprepared and he doesn't.
That's foolish.
And that's
But
very
that's
foolish,
foolish.
ignorant, not knowing.
But that man that understands that he's not prepared and he doesn't make that decision.
No, I think it's possible to be an inactive coward. I think it's possible to know that this is not for you, and not to and to cower from something. I think I agree with you. If you don't think you can, if you scared because you don't think you can provide for my daughter, then I don't want you to marry my daughter. Now, if you have plans that are so big that they scare you, but you're going to go at them anyway, and you're going to ask for my guidance and the guidance of my friends and my counsel,
courage.
That's my man right there. I don't want somebody tell me I ain't afraid of shit. That's a fool.
Yeah, so I think the question is, I think the question is, if I'm efficient, let me ask the question a little different. If I'm efficient in the area, should I try to avoid those areas because I'm efficient in those areas?
It depends upon the importance of the areas.
Yeah, I was about to say depends on.
I suck at knife throwing.
Areas. And do you have an opportunity to attain more knowledge to basically progress in those areas?
Well, no. So the thing is, say protection. Say if a dude say he can't fight, so he avoid fighting, right? Are y'all saying that he is foolish for avoiding fighting if he can't fight?
In this day and age, absolutely. If he's a male, he is setting himself up.
No.
You are discussing Jeff Brown at 11 years old. If I had followed that, I would still be afraid. I hope I would never have kids. I hope I would never have a wife, somebody that I may have to physically defend. No, if you are afraid to fight as a man, find somewhere to live alone. Because as far as the men, yes, you will not find a man around me that I respect that is afraid to fight. He may be afraid of dying. He may be afraid of he may not want, dude. I'm not no fucking bouncer.
Okay,
I'm not
okay, all right. Hold on 1 second. Let me just read the super chat that came in. Justin says, I see a lot of men 30 and under who don't want their wives to experience pregnancy as well. Surrogacy is going to explode over the next few decades. Not if they can't get the cost down. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of the American dream says, is it a man's job to protect a woman on a coffee date? Should he date at all if he's not willing to take that risk? So for example, if a guy goes, hey, let me take you out for coffee, and a situation occurs while they're out at coffee, should he protect that woman or should he have the right to not protect her?
If he wants to date my daughter,
he should.
It depends on.
Listen, if he's asking her out, technically that woman is under his protection.
Yep.
Yes. I mean, anybody he wish should be under his protection, as long as they ain't.
Yeah, it doesn't.
What's the point of you taking her out?
Wait a minute. Who is this soft ass question for? If you can't, if you look, Number one, if you taking my daughter out for coffee and you think that some shit is gonna go down, then brother, you taking my daughter to the wrong place for coffee.
Well, hold on. Let's set up the situation a little better because I kind of
something could just happen. It's not that he was putting his.
Who is these soft niggas we talking about?
So why to disagree? Why to disagree?
I know. Listen, I get what you're saying, but let's set it up correctly. So, Uncle Jeff, you have a young man that takes your daughter out to coffee. A confrontation happened, and he be like, "Hey, let's go. It's time for us to go." Your daughter said, "Hey, ain't going nowhere. I'm sitting right here, and we're gonna deal with this problem." And I know this is not your daughter, but I'm just using this example. We gonna deal with the problem. You think the young man should stay there after he done gave her guidance to leave and protect her?
No, he should do the following. Mr. Brown, I was out with your daughter, and contrary to what you taught her, contrary to what I believed, she decided as a female to get into a verbal confrontation that could turn into physical. And you've been teaching her against this since she was 4 years old. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you the address and leave her right here. And I'll go, "Thank you, young man. Go on about your business. I'll come pick my daughter up and figure out where I failed."
So you said that you should call the father.
Call me.
I agree.
Call me because I failed somewhere. You talking about my daughter? I failed somewhere, and she did that.
I get it.
I said that earlier, Uncle Jeff.
I get that point, and I get that example works for you because you in your daughter's life. But most men that are dating women can't call their daddy.
Then leave that scallywag right the fuck there.
All right, stop. So are we saying that if you're not the type of guy that would defend anybody, you cannot date a woman? You cannot be with a woman?
No, that's not what I'm saying.
I know, but I'm trying to move past that and not get stuck on points so I can get down the line. I'm asking that question. If there are men that say, "I'm afraid, I'm not a violent person, I'm fear," that's not who I am. Are you saying they get no woman?
No,
are you asking me that?
I'm not
Uncle
saying
Jeff. Uncle Jeff said you can't get his daughter. You can go out there and get a
You
woman.
can have whatever woman you want. Just not none that I care about.
No. So I understand it's not none that you care about, right? So you're saying, because I would assume you think he's a coward because you've been saying that a lot, right? So you are saying that cowards are okay to have families and wives and all that. Yes.
You ask
I'm not asking about your daughter because I don't
exactly. If cowards need my permission, you can do whatever you like. Yes, cowards can have families, Aaron. Absolutely.
Okay, that's the baseline that I'm trying to understand. Because
yeah, they can have families. I don't know how they expect to keep respect from their wife, but okay.
So wait, so you think if someone's a coward, it's okay to not respect them for being an honest coward at that?
I am saying that if you are a coward, you should not be responsible for any other breathing thing than yourself.
Yes, I agree.
So that's what I'm saying, because shit happens. My wife's grandfather.
Not being afraid. Coward is a very strong word, man.
Yes, fear and cowardice are different. My wife's grandfather is 102 years old. If something happens to my wife or her sister, the first thing he gonna ask is, where was their husband? And that's what he's supposed to ask. Because I have said that I will be her covering and her shield. That's what provide means. It don't just mean money. It means security. It means guidance. It means safety. It means knowledge. It means contacts. It means resources. I provide all of those things.
I'm not asking about what you provide. Okay, I'm focused on the baseline of when it's okay for men to be afraid and say, "Oh, I don't know if I want to necessarily deal with that. I'm a man of fear and being afraid, and I know that's not what I can handle." Right. To the point.
I was going to say whenever they're not in a position of leadership.
Whenever you're not in a position of leadership, is your case.
No,
I don't understand.
Like Uncle Jeff, you're talking about leading your family, right?
Yes, sir.
Leading your household, leading your wife.
I get what y'all
saying. You cannot be a coward and do these things.
No.
Hold on. I get what you're saying, But me growing up in Georgia, every male in my school have fought before, right? When I got here in Washington, it's like a large population of men. I would say 40 to 50% goes through elementary to 12th grade who never been in a confrontation at all.
All right, y'all, I'm gone.
Damn, they got you.
I think he's been a little too aggressive and pushing his thoughts too hard and not listening to everybody else. That's why they hit him. Well, go ahead. I think that's what it was, because I think he's not listening.
Personalizing everything.
So the question that I want to ask Omni, if a person have never had a conflict and they want to avoid conflict, because I believe that you can go through America without having no conflicts. You can live 85 years without having a conflict, like a physical conflict.
Okay.
Yes, but I don't believe that's cowardice if you do that.
That's not cowardice.
That's cowardice. That's not cowardice.
I see y'all in 15
Yeah, that's
minutes.
not.
She said life, liberty, in the pursuit of America.
Yeah, that's not cowardice. That actually shows that you have actual intelligence, how to actually communicate. And when I mean communication, not just verbally, you know how to assess other people's body language, the area, the environment, a lot of things. That means you're highly intelligent if you can avoid conflict.
I mean, we talked about de-escalation.
That makes sense.
Been able to do that.
We talked about de-escalation. Of proper communication could get you out of that. And if they don't put themselves in that situation for physical contact, then I mean, they're relatively safe. And if they're taking care of everything else outside of a facet of being hand to hand, they're relatively safe.
Correct.
No, but the point is, if they avoiding fighting, you feel like that's not being a coward if they say that's an act of fear.
Again, that's
avoidance.
Avoiding is avoiding is going the opposite of going towards. Like,
if you can't get out of it
into a fight, so yes, avoid.
And then you don't protect yourself. That's something different.
If I have a fear and I avoid it, that is the definition of being a coward.
All right, Eda man. It's like what you said earlier. Can you get out of there? Can you just answer that question directly, real quick?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yes, you're gonna be able to get out of it because you never.
Okay, no, hold on for a minute. Hold on for a minute. Has it been a situation where they couldn't get out of it and they didn't? And
they have made sure they have made sure they designed their life where they'll never be in that situation.
It
is possible.
Regardless
that's
if it is okay, regardless if it is possible, right? It seems like the fears and the being afraid for men leads to being a coward. It seems, right?
Sounds like it.
Right? Ultimately, so if you have those things as a man, you're a coward. That's what it ultimately, from what I've been hearing, that's what it's leading up to. If you're deciding, hey, and you're aware of this, hey, I know this, I can't do this. They ultimately, if you don't embrace it or attack this fear and being afraid, you ultimately are a coward. It's such an interesting perspective, right? Hold on. Life, liberty, in the pursuit of the American dream says, E-Man, change my context. Don't change our context again. Okay. Purpose is to consider the intentional lack of financial investments as compared to the potential risk of life circumstances. Assume they are all at a coffee shop in a mall and a shooting happens. Yeah, you did change the context to her question. And
I do want to answer what she's saying. I think if it starts shooting, we all should be running. Do I supposed to go and try to jump in front of a bullet at a coffee stand? Is any of the men
doesn't mean you need to. That means you get whoever you with the hell up out of there.
I mean, again, if a shooter happens, no one said
stop changing the context.
Like no one said
he just changed it again.
The extremes.
It doesn't matter if you think it's extreme. Don't change the context of a cop. We're gonna go back to her question. Shout out to Lou. Lou says, if I have to protect her on the first date, she has to smash on the first date, even if the situation does come.
What the fuck? Nah, man.
What do you mean? Wait. What do you mean? No. Like if he's saying, if you're gonna put a requirement on me just to be a man, and this is the requirement of men, there should be a requirement of her as a woman, is what he's saying.
You
How
saying
can you?
if we mandate it across the board?
None of this is mandated. It's all based
No,
upon
I'm
how you
saying
want.
if we do it in case of his situation, what he just said.
I don't understand what you mean by mandated.
If we make it, if we saying that's the transaction right there, that basically he's saying if I protect you, you're automatically obligated to give me that.
No, I think what Lou is trying. No, what Lou is trying to say is,
so if we're saying it that across the board, then yes.
No, what Lou is, I think Lou,
If
and
we're agreeing with that.
hold on, and correct me if I'm wrong. Lou say, why is it something that I'm expected to do, and is not something that she expected to do on the first date?
I just said that. I said yes. Then if we're saying it that way.
Okay, we're going to go back to her question. Is it a man's job to protect a woman on a coffee date? Should he date her at all if he's not willing to take the risk? That's the question. Should men that are not prepared to take the risk?
Can you put the question back up, please, sir?
Well, let me say like this, right? Say you in high school, you want to take a girl out, you want to take a man's daughter out, and he talks with you before you take her out, like have her back here by such and such time. But since she's not with me, she's with you. You are to be her protection until she comes back here. You're going to hear that just about every time you take a female out that's not even out the house yet.
No, you're not. Listen.
No, you're not.
I was about to say,
that's not standard.
Hold on, let's answer her question.
It's not standard, but I'm saying if the father is not doing what he's supposed to do, if the father is not doing what you're supposed to do, you're not going to hear that.
I want to ask her actual question. Is it my job? Please. No, it is not my job. The answer is no. Should he date if he's not willing to protect her? Yes. We can't control who people are going to date just because of how they believe. Just like you got the right to date how you believe, he got the right to date how he believes.
Either man,
okay.
You said
let me make sure that's Luke. Give me 1 sec, guys.
Yeah, it's me.
All right.
Either man, you said the word should, right?
Yeah, he should have the right to do whatever he wants in America.
He should have.
He may, but is it the right thing to do?
Correct. Those are two different things, man.
Yeah, it wasn't about the right thing.
But the one thing is,
I keep saying this.
But that's a personal opinion, because what I think is right and what you think is right is totally two different things. Like when we start asking,
but we need to get to the bottom of it. The bottom of it.
But what we get into is your moral compass. Now, when we start talking about a moral compass, that is subjective.
Subjective.
Do y'all disagree with that?
Okay, so So this is what I'm saying. We're talking about you, and based off of what I know about you, you definitely have one, because we supposedly believe in the same thing. So if you're talking about off of those premise, you're talking about, this is something that I call it. This ain't something that somebody else said. There's right, reality, and reason. What is going on right now is reality, what happens. Sometimes we conflate that with what is the right choice to make. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I kind of get. So, but if I'm answering her question. She asking, should a guy date if he decide that he do not want to protect a woman? That's not a right or wrong thing. That is. We can't say that he have the right to date somebody or he don't have the right to date somebody. It have nothing to do with right and wrong.
So that goes back into what you said. You said he should have the right. So you now just contradicted yourself.
No, I said he should have the right to date. That is his right
without
to date.
protection. That's what he said. That's
Y'all
what he
let me know
said.
when I can jump in, because I just wanted to
I'm not saying he got the right to do. I'm just saying, just like True have the right to date whoever he want, this man also have the right to date. I'm not getting into whether it's the right decision or not. I'm just saying he have the right to date. Go ahead, Lou.
So all I was trying to say, and you guys pretty much clarified it, but I just wanted to come up here and say it myself. When you date a girl, you are going to be not only expected, but coerced, almost forced into protecting her no matter what. because that's what society says you should do. So all I'm saying is, if I'm going to be forced to risk my life to protect a girl I don't know on the first date, she should at least give me something in return. Because I'm already paying for the. It's just my opinion, G. Right? You can retort later.
No, I got you. I got you.
You see what I'm saying? Because I'm already expected to pay for the date anyway. I gotta pick you up anyway. I gotta make all the right moves anyway. Otherwise, you're gonna dry up. And if I have to protect you and fight somebody and do all this, because if I lose, you're gonna go home with the winner anyway. You gotta give me some bucks. This is crazy. Like the double standard.
It doesn't.
The double standard is kind of wild, in my opinion.
This
Is the goal
determines which thing do you consider more. Well, in your case, you consider your money is more valuable than her body.
I don't understand.
And then it depends on if she considers your money more valuable than her body. If she
Okay,
doesn't, then
why
it
do
ain't
you
going.
go to work? Why do you go to work Monday morning? To make money. Why do you go out on a date with a girl? To get pussy. This is very simple.
Oh, well, I don't date.
And it's not just what Lou is really saying is that what Lou is really saying, right, is he's expected at a moment's notice to put his life on the line for a woman that he's taking out for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
That's the argument that he's making.
But even AO just said that's not always the case. It's not always the case.
Ask her father that. Ask her father that if that's not the case.
I get it, but
well, most of y'all ain't even consulting her daddy. Y'all y'all not even moving that way because half of y'all he wouldn't even approve of.
See, true. I think that we cannot tell men that they cannot have expectations. Now, we're not saying that she.
I didn't say that.
Hold on.
I didn't say that.
I get you. The question is, can he have expectations that he's going to get the box?
He have a right to have whatever the heck he wants.
Just like she can have the expectations that she want him to protect him. This idea that we can control people's expectations, especially in the dating market, is crazy to me.
Nobody said that because I just literally said, and when AO posted up, I actually agreed with him. But what changed was, oh, okay.
So I want to ask Aaron this question when it comes down to men avoiding. Do you look like so when we look at coward, right? Do you think if a person lacks courage and what they do is avoid confrontation or danger, is they consider a coward?
To me, I don't even know the definition of a coward, right? Because I'd have to look it up if we're going to be defined to the word. But no, I think if you're avoiding something that you know that you're either not good at, you can't do, you don't want to do, you're afraid to do. I know that you might be defined as a coward, but it's still probably smart to do. I'm just trying to understand if you are afraid as a man or in general a woman, I guess, then are you a coward? That's what I'm asking. Is this what it leads to?
Are we connecting intelligence with cowardice then?
Well, let me.
That's the problem that I'm having.
Let me ask E this. Let me ask E the question this way, right? Is it cowardice for that same man who understands what his weaknesses are to exercise discernment?
No.
Say it. So for example, let's give the example.
Answer is no, yes.
So let's give the examples. I'm a man. I'm afraid I won't be able to protect, so I ain't gonna have a family. I don't think I can provide financially, so I'm not gonna pay for anything for a woman.
Well, so I think the difference, what makes you a coward, is that you don't have the courage.
I see how you did it. Okay,
you lack the courage. You got to lack the courage to do. Like, it's different if I have the courage and I choose to do different versus if I lack the courage. Like, it's impossible. Like, I don't even have the courage to be able to accomplish this task. We're talking two different things.
So how do you determine if you have courage?
That's what I'm about to say. Because isn't courage actually overcoming something?
Well, courage is making actions in the face of still being in fear. That's what courage is.
Yeah, so that means you're over. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Well, no, you can still be going through it afraid. It doesn't mean you've gotten over it. you're still just doing it.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. So you lack courage if you say that I refuse to do this regardless if my back is against the wall. If you say my back is against the wall, I'm gonna do what I gotta do, but I'm gonna try to make calculated moves not to be in that situation. Those are two different people. One is a coward and one is not.
Okay, so that most people
if he has a way,
fight,
if he has a way out, if he has an option to get out, and he doesn't choose that, then I would say that's cowardice because you're not acting at all. Do you get what I'm saying?
Say it one more time.
In regards to,
you said that he made options, provisions to make sure certain things didn't happen, correct?
No. So let me say it again.
He set it up that way, correct?
If I make calculated moves not to be in a situation, I am not a coward.
Mm-hmm.
But if my back against the wall and I don't have the courage to act, that makes me a coward.
Is there a way out?
No.
He said his back's against the wall, so there's no way out but through.
Okay, now, so that goes into initially what I said earlier. He has to now protect himself, right?
But okay, we're getting into two different things. So let me read the super chat. Ricky says men are judged on their actions and his words. Women are judged based upon interpretation of those. For men, there is no space for interpretation. Okay. Matthew says, y'all tripping. If you get into a fight with a man while with a lady, the man is challenging you. The woman is irrelevant.
I agree.
Zoe says, y'all got social contracts messed up. You shouldn't be on a date with a woman whose character you wouldn't defend if you smash. That is not true.
That is the most bullshit. Oh my
You don't
God.
know nobody's character on a date, especially the first date, second date. Listen. This is something that you guys have to understand.
how'd you even get to the point to where you would get her on a date?
Hold on.
I got pushed back on whoever.
Wait, hold on. Character is revealed. How you gonna identify some character to somebody you haven't had the time to get it revealed?
It's on the contract, Aaron. It's on the contract.
What about the situation with Lou?
Okay.
No, the only reason why I'm saying what he said was correct right there because the situation we brought up what Lou said. He said that it's he believes that it's mandatory that she give him box if he's there to protect her. Now,
well, that's a hoe.
That's not what he said.
He did just say that. What are you talking about?
Well, Lou was talking about his equivalent exchange. If he has to do that, she should be willing to give that up.
Exactly. So,
okay. Well, I don't think. Okay,
It's not a
gentlemen.
That's not a equivalent exchange.
The operative word is willing.
I'm saying because
the operative word is willing. Here's why I think Lou is exactly right. Don't be going out with me. And this is these freeloading broads looking for free lunch and free dinner.
Absolutely, thank
okay,
you.
Don't if you have no intention of ever sleeping with me ever, then don't go out on a date with me.
Don't waste.
Now I'm not saying that this first date has to equal sex. It doesn't.
There we go.
It doesn't have to, but if it couldn't possibly, then you just stealing my money.
Exactly. So I've told this story before, right? I went on a date with a girl, and she looked at me in the eye. Look at the audacity, right? She looked at me in the eye and said, and I've told this story before, I'm not ashamed, right? Oh, Lou, you're not my first choice. As soon as she said you were not my first choice, I stood up and I left.
My man.
Wrap it up.
So all the way up until that time, hold on. Let me get this straight. All the way up until that time, you believe you was her first choice?
No, first of all, you're almost never a girl's first choice, but she doesn't have to tell it to your face. I already know she's talking to other guys. A fine chick from the island has other people that want her as well. Hear me out. A fine chick from the island has men trying to talk to her as well. I know that. But you don't have to tell me to my face. Once you disrespect me that way and you tell me to my face, I'm leaving you at the restaurant. Shout out to Hink. And I think that men have to start doing that a little more because women are entitled to free food, free rides, free dates, free this, free that, and allegedly you are not entitled to anything other than her presence, I suppose. So, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. Like, see, Aaron, this is so, like, the double standard is wild, bro.
Well, if you don't accept it, you're not a man and you're a coward. So
Exactly.
ultimately, that's what it's leading to.
Exactly. Oh,
wow.
And I guarantee you her father would have said, oh, well, he wasn't a real man, right? Because this is the thing, Aaron. The dads are the real simps. When dudes become dads to daughters, they become simps. It's an amazing thing to see.
Okay, hold up, Lou. I'm gonna take offense to that because first off, the daughter I raised would not be that disrespectful.
Because it's personal now. That's why I said.
But no. Well, wait a minute. You can't. How possibly can you make a blanket statement and not have anyone take it personal when they're fathers of daughters?
No, you can. I'm not saying you can't take it personally. I'm just saying, in my opinion, in general, I believe, because, put it this way, right? In order for you to be a man that a woman wants to have sex with, you need to be a certain type of man, right?
Okay.
Because you understand female psychology, yes?
Okay.
But as soon as you have a daughter, you try to reverse what you have done to be able to have a daughter in the first place and try to keep your daughter away from the very men that you used to be, which is insane to me. It's kind of like this, Unc, and let's see if I'm making sense to you. My mom always said to me, be nice to women, buy flowers, do this, do that. And I look at my dad is the exact opposite. Right?
Okay, let me, if I could, is it all right if I address that and not make it personal?
No, of course.
Go ahead, teach them.
What you're discussing is the propensity of young men to chase low-hanging fruit. And as they age, they don't want their daughters to be low-hanging fruit. Now, if you have ever washed your clothes, got your hair cut, washed your car, and went out to get some pussy on a Friday night and wanted that pussy to be easy, I challenge you to have a daughter. You just don't want your daughter to be that easy pussy. And that's humanity, young man.
Yeah, but you wanted easy pussy, though.
Yes, of course I did.
Okay.
So I don't see what your issue is. So do you.
It's also hypocrisy too.
The issue is the hypocrisy. Yeah.
It's not. No. It's not at all hypocrisy. Here's when it became this feel like hypocrisy, and this is our fault. It became hypocrisy when we start treating hoes like nice girls and nice girls like hoes. Hoes are for Doritos, and Doritos are for everybody.
And just because you hit on the first night don't mean that she's a hoe as well.
There's another one. Absolutely.
Absolutely. Who said that? Prime, thank you for saying that. That was an amazing.
Because they used to be my whole little forte when coming dating. I used to make sure I did everything I could to make sure I, get mine. But that is, I wouldn't sit there like I knew how to pick between the difference. You know what I'm saying? All of them was a hoes.
Right.
So
exactly. I don't say that either.
I don't want to get caught. I don't want to get caught up on this.
Yeah, let's not get caught up in
everybody's daughter has a father. So at the end of the day, if you want to do to somebody else's daughter what you wouldn't want done to your daughter, there's a lot of hypocrisy there.
Right. Yeah.
It's a lot there because there's this false claim of men should have respect for one another. That's insane to think those two things can exist in doing those two things. That just doesn't make sense.
So I got a question for the panel. Do y'all believe that men should actually go to therapy?
Yes, yes.
Under no circumstances.
Therapy should be given to everybody for free.
I don't know about giving, but if a man,
go to the gym.
I don't know about all that. That's
go to the gym. Go get another.
It should be offered at least, available.
Can we not confuse therapy with wise counsel? There's a difference.
I like that.
Very true.
There's a difference.
Very true, Jeff.
Sometimes I like Uncle Jeff. Sometimes he says.
Oh, you can't like everything, man, Lou. You ain't gonna like it all, man. I don't like me all the time.
I'm just saying. I think therapy is Hello, I think therapy is a waste of money. I think a lot of people go to therapy thinking that they're gonna have this enlightenment, and just like Aaron said, that therapist is gonna give you advice that's typically not beneficial to your life, and you're gonna go out there looking like.
Hold on, have you had therapy before?
I didn't say that, by the way.
He didn't say that.
Have you been to therapy before though?
I have.
I asked y'all this question.
All right. Now, did you implement it on your own?
Let me ask y'all this question. How many people y'all know that went
What up,
through
Lee?
We got feedback.
How many people?
See,
y'all
most
know
of y'all
that
don't
went
even
through
implement it.
How many people y'all know that went through therapy and it was successful?
For me,
I know a couple
said
of
how
people.
many people?
Was your
Hello,
therapist a
You
hello.
female?
So Prime, hold on. I want to ask.
Just
ask
one?
Prime
Just
this question,
yourself?
'cause I gotta go. Hello, Prime. So did you find
Because I
that
hear a lot of people
emotional
claiming
man?
they went to
Hold on.
therapy, but they still messed up.
Hold on, Prime. Did you embrace the emotional boy inside you and let him play out to be who you supposed to be?
no, they give you tools that basically. Now that's the thing. Therapists, they make money off of you doing the self work. That's the big thing about it. So what they're gonna do is they're gonna give you tools. They're gonna give you tools to help you understand. I'm big on psychology, on behavior psychology. Anyway, I studied for fun since I was in my
I get
teens.
hold on, so you telling me they gonna give me tools to do their job because I can go.
Yeah, basically they're gonna help categorize shit. Put you in the category for you to do the self work.
I can Google the tools that I need because I did it. Listen, I know this sounds crazy. I can Google all the tools I need to be able to solve my own problems. Why would I go somebody to be able to give me the stuff that I get for free? Because therapists are
Shit, for me, my job gave it to me for free. So
I don't know.
Hello, let me land. Let me just land because this is the key. All of the stuff that they're going to give me, my daddy and my mama should have gave me anyway. Like this is the whole thing. Therapists make money. No, therapists really truthfully make money because y'all daddies didn't teach y'all how to be men. And I'm not no shot at nobody.
you damn right. Our parents don't. A lot of us come from fucked up parents. I come from a fucked up household, dog.
I say it all the time.
You know what I'm saying? So I didn't get all that.
Brother, none of us came from perfect homes. None of us.
Bro, since when do parents have time to teach you anything?
Here's what I had to learn, and I learned it through wise counsel. That every one of us has subconscious programming that is running from when we were younger. The way you make your choices, the things that you decide are better, worse, more valuable, less valuable. You have to find wise counsel to help you comb through that subconscious programming, because more than likely, the pieces of your life that you don't like is because you're running a program that you don't understand you're running. Psychologists make you pay for that to find that. You don't have to pay for it.
Okay, no problem. I don't want to get caught up on it. Give me a second. Chris says a coward is someone doing something opposite. Lone Wise, you got to mute in between talking, brother. It's bad paddle etiquette. It's not personally to you, but the audio gets distorted when people are listening on YouTube. So if you guys see me muting you in between, just understand that.
Oh, I do. You heard something on my end?
We can hear a whole bunch of stuff on your end, bro.
You
but
serious?
that was a little bit before when you was probably going through the cabinets or things like that. I don't know. I can't see. Chris,
if you can hear your life, so can we.
So Chris says a coward is someone doing something opposite of what they're trained to do. I can't expect a civilian to pick up a weapon and go to the battlefield, but I do a soldier. I'm struggling with that a little bit. Okay. Shout out to Day. Day says, question for E, who just left because he's a coward. In the panel, is a man a coward for walking away from a fight in public? If he walks away to not lose his job and home, where is the line drawn? So this is the question, Day. Are you saying that a man walks up to him and says, I want to fight you. I challenge you to a fight. And he says, I'm not going to fight you, brother. I have things that I think are more important, and walks away. Now, here's the important factor. Is it that he walks away because he's afraid of that man? Or is he afraid to lose his job? What if he walks away because he's afraid of that man and he don't want the problem? Does that make him a coward? But what if he walks away only because he's afraid to lose his job? Would he still be a coward? So
could I say?
Well, feel free to.
Okay, so the one who's trying to fight in public is the coward. The real man will come at you straight up and be like, let's go settle this somewhere where we can have at least 5 minutes to ourselves, no eyes, no ears, and we can settle this.
That's not true. That's not true.
Dead ass. Yes, it is. No, shit. But you ready to risk your life? You ready to risk your life to get your shit off?
You think
you ready to risk your life to get your shit off?
About to fight? Hold on. You think if we about to fight, my nigga, I'm gonna talk to you and say, "Oh yeah, let's go plan this out." I'm gonna spark your ass right then and there.
That's crazy.
Dog, man. Yo, I'm telling you, it works like this amongst men, and this is the best way. If I got a problem with you, and I actually want to put hands on you, I'll be like, look, let's go settle this somewhere. We can have 5 minutes to ourselves. It's not even gonna last 5 minutes. You know what I mean? That's too goddamn long. I'm saying it's not even gonna last 5 minutes. It's too goddamn long. But at least after we finish it out, after we done everything said and done, we can come to agreement. We can possibly even be brothers after that.
Sir, what is the likelihood of that taking place?
We can even be brothers after that.
Okay,
depending on what we depending on what we fight over.
This might be the problem.
Out here, G.
Lane, this might be your problem, brother. True, is it all right if I ask your age?
This ain't no daggone movie, G. It's real.
You're right.
Yeah, it's real out here.
Brother True.
Yeah, I know this. Yeah, man.
Brother True.
Dog, you ain't gotta, man, look, I understand you can get killed just for you can get killed. I got you, Jeff.
Yeah, guys, y'all not listening to each other. The worst thing us as men have do is not listen to each other. I know it's always a fight for the mic, but I think it only exists because nobody ever lets anybody finish their points. I think that's the only reason there's a big fight for the mic. If you guys let somebody get their point, then we'll be able to listen to each other.
So Aaron, did they finish talking about therapy? Because I had to switch cameras, so they let that conversation go.
Yeah.
I
let
think
me know when it's my turn.
I know. I'm trying to get you, Uncle Jeff.
I'm just saying, if you ever sat through a therapy session, they'd be like, "What do you think you should do?" If I wanted to go by what I wanted to think, I would have came here. I'm paying you $100 to give me direction. No, for real. No, I'm paying you money per hour to give me help, not to tell me to think about what I'm gonna do, because I'm already thinking about what I was doing before I got here.
Okay, all right, fair enough. All right, so I want to get everybody's. Take your time. Last thoughts on this, because I want to move to the conversation about the village. So,
they're doing that so that way you can be equipped with the right verbiage and the right. I don't want to say characterization, but basically just the right profiling of who you are, what you're going through. That's what it's about. That's why they're doing that. And majority of the work is self-work anyway. They're just giving you the tools for you to do what you need to do. Now, I promote it. I'm not saying it's going to work for everybody, because most niggas don't want to damn put the self-work in for anything.
But
Prime, it's available for you.
But that is the answer. I need to find a way to develop myself. I don't need to go to a therapist. I need to find a way. How can I become
you might not be going through shit. You might not have to damn worry about child abuse. You might not have to worry about trying to figure out why you always want to fight everybody. You probably ain't got to worry about certain shit like your whole family fucked up, alcoholics, and you thinking everything is normal throughout your whole life. You just now finding out when you're 30 years old that shit's fucked up.
Listen,
you trying to figure out why you are the way you are.
I don't think you're being fair either, man. I don't think you're being fair.
The reason that y'all say I'm not being fair, because people don't know that I'm the only black male on my mother's side of the family who never got locked up. I'm the only one that's not on drugs. I'm the only one. I just say, you know what? I'm going to take accountability and I'm going to get better. I'm going to heal myself. So when people tell me that I don't understand, I went through all those exact same things that other people go through. I just
Again, this is personalizing. This is the kind of personalizing that I don't believe I did, that I got kicked the fuck out of here for.
Well, Uncle Jeff, I always personalize. I personalize every
Well,
time I'm on the
bro,
panel.
all I have to do is disagree with Aaron, and my time is numbered.
Yeah,
Stop putting that narrative out. I wasn't even talking.
That's all I got to do. If I disagree with Aaron, TikTok, nigga, TikTok.
Let me tell you what frustrates people when I can't get my thoughts out. That's the only thing that pisses other people off. They're like, I want to hear how he's crafting and creating this process, and everybody just goes, no, I want to be heard. That's what frustrates them. If they're not kicking you off because you disagree with me, because most of the time I'm not even in a disagreement. I'm in a conversation. Go ahead,
Aaron. If I may be allowed to speak uninterrupted for just 60 seconds, is this my time?
We'll give you 58 seconds. 58 seconds.
Thank you. Here we go.
You have 50.
This is unfair. This is unfair to say that no one needs somebody else to talk to, especially black men. That's not fair, Eda Man, to say that no one needs therapy. If you feel like you need to go and talk to someone else about the way you were raised to help you get to your subconscious programming so you can change it, do so. What I am saying is that if you smart enough, if you wise enough, if you connect to source, you can find that person without paying somebody by the hour who may have a European or even too far Afrocentric or even too far Afro-Cuban bias to what it is that they have to say about your situation. But don't be afraid to get some help.
And also, your job might offer it for free through Magellan. You might get it through your benefits.
I
free.
get it, but see, this is why you get kicked off, Uncle Jeff. I never said that you should not talk to anybody. Yes, you should have friends. Yes, you should. I know right now, if I call my father, I can talk to him for 2 to 3 hours about some stuff that I'm going through as a man. I can call my mother. Like, I'm not saying that you shouldn't talk to people, but this idea that we have to go pay somebody, because I'm actually attacking the institution of therapy. I'm not saying that you shouldn't talk to people, because we wasn't created on this world not to talk to people.
Okay,
Hey,
well,
I had to go to. Have you been Me Too before? Like Me Too, like accused of some shit.
Yes, sir.
And you telling me that didn't fuck you up at all? You ain't had to go through nothing.
You know what I did? I called my father, and my father talked me through the situation. That's the point that I'm
Congrats,
telling
you got
you.
a father to talk to, bro.
Either man, you and me.
I survived that shit, bro. I ain't have nobody, dog. I was damn clinically depressed for like damn 2 weeks, my nigga.
Bruh, this is the question that nobody wants to answer. I asked it of True, and you niggas just paved smooth the fuck over it. You have to ask the age of the man. It counts. Eda Man. We had something a lot of cats our age didn't. Responsible, active fathers.
Maturation is not synonymous with age, Uncle Jeff. I just want to say
What's that?
Maturation is not synonymous with age.
I don't remember, but forgive me again.
It sounds like that's
if I put the two together. I don't believe I did, True. Okay. But it is safe to say that men in their 40s and men in their 50s look at things differently than men in their 20s or men in their 30s. And if that's not true, then you, True, and all you niggas need to start apologizing for what you say about how old niggas look at shit.
It's not absolute.
I did not say that, brother. Again, forgive me if you heard me say absolute. I don't remember saying that. But I can stand on this, that men in their 40s and men in their 50s generally look at things different, are ridiculed for it, are told they are wrong for it, are told they are out of touch for it. And if that is wrong, then you're going to have to apologize for a lot of what goes on social media. And I am saying that we need to outline that difference. When I sit here, if I have something to say about how a young man looks at something, I have to figure his age out so that I don't say nothing stupid as his elder. Because all I'm going on is my fuck ups.
Stop talking about me, bro. I don't like that shit.
That's hilarious. I'm just so it's not fair. It's not. I have to ask. If you ask Prime said he went through this shit and he didn't have nobody, because a lot of people his age deal with that. Me and Eda Man are of a certain age where there were more fathers around, so we look at shit different.
Okay, let's I kind of want to move on. I want to get to the main topic that I really want to discuss. Shout out to Tia. She says therapy is not meant to be a cure. It equips. Everyone is different. Some can benefit, others won't. Some have family, friends for counsel. Some do not.
That's fair.
Yeah, it's tough to poke a hole in that particular statement. Now, I want to get into this conversation about the village, right? So it's going to require a level of patience because I want to introduce this video briefly that will speak upon some of the things I want to touch down on when it comes to the village. So just be a little patient for me to be able to play this video for you guys to have a perspective on, and there may be a couple videos that I need to correlate together, but just take a listen here.
The private provision of childcare is a market failure. There is insufficient supply of care given the demand in the economy, coupled with unsustainable price increases. Over the past 30 years, prices for childcare have increased more than housing, food, energy, medical care, or the poster child of high prices, prescription drugs. As a market failure, childcare services are immune to classic market solutions. They cannot be radically improved with technology, efficiency, or scale. You can ask any parent, very young children needs the eyes, hands, and attention of a capable adult. There is no miracle innovation coming for this sector. The upshot for today's discussion, the market has no ability to suddenly right itself to become plentiful or affordable. It's only going in one direction, and it's a bad one. Decades of research consistently tells us that when childcare is unaffordable or inaccessible, mothers will leave the labor force. And childcare in the US is on track to become both less affordable and less accessible should federal support end. In surveys, paid childcare providers say that when Rescue Act funds end, they will either cut staff wages, raise prices, close classrooms, or close altogether. It would be unheard of for any combination of those actions not to push parents, largely mothers, out of the workforce. It is just a question of how many. In terms of how many, we do have some guesses. The Century Foundation estimates that providers will eliminate 3.2 million care slots, with about a quarter of what's currently provided in the US when the funding ends. That could mean 3 million mothers leave the labor force. It could be more if the remaining spots increase in price and then further push people out of the market. It could be less if families are able to secure alternatives, such as nannies for the rich or friends and family care for the rest. But there's no outcome, there's no number where this helps the labor market and labor supply to push mothers out when we're in the middle of an inflation fight. It can only hurt. So I think it's fair to ask, what do the next few months look like? You know, if federal support for childcare ends, what are we witnessing? I'm not expecting much on October 1st.
If federal support for childcare starts to dissipate, what impacts will that have? This is having impacts on a lot of different areas, especially when it comes to families and the environment, right? So, for example, this woman here has this thought about it, and then we will discuss her thoughts afterwards. Let me pull it. There it goes. I'm like, where is it at? Pull it. Transfer dynamic. There we go. Listen to what this lady has to say.
I'm completely drowning in my life right now, and I literally cannot even pay someone to come and help me get out of it. I spent the last week on care.com trying to find someone to be like housekeeper, nanny, Alice with me there. I would also be.
People do not understand how hard it is to hire your village. People often talk about, it takes a village to raise a child. Of course it does. We know that. And we also know that that village basically
Yo,
because we live in.
hey man, number one,
multi-generational home.
Both of our
Parents or
wives
boomers are either working, sick, and or don't want to care for our children, which fine, that's fine. You know, our siblings can't care for our kids. I think a lot of people used to be like, oh, I got dropped off at my aunt's house or whatever that might be. That does not exist anymore. That village is gone. So now we pay for a village. People need to pay for villages. Yet it is incredibly difficult to do so.
It is incredibly difficult to pay for a village. I would agree. I would agree. So, what is going on with the village? Why are we in this position? What has gone on with the village? Do people have any thoughts about what happened to the village?
Selfishness.
Selfishness. It's a fair statement.
Also mistrust.
Or is it the so-called gender war and religion destroying the original feminine?
I think civilization just progressed, especially when you have cities, huge cities, started getting into. It doesn't make room
broke
for the
down
village.
the concept of family.
Yeah, I can see that.
How? Can you elaborate?
Well, huge cities brings on more danger. So people started sticking to themselves more, started trusting less around them. Especially considering New York, you see how New York is, right? Especially me come from the South and I'm in New York, don't even say hi when you go walk by unless you want something.
Again, that's mistrust.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
people thing.
Yeah, I think that maybe cities could have brought that
in
on.
New York.
Well, when I hear a description like that, that would make me feel like I would want more of a clan around me, so I would be more into family.
Well, I think of something of what she's saying, because the question was about the village. So we're also talking about family, right? But then look at all the services that are out there. There's mistrust, because even if you could afford a nanny, do you really want to trust them around your kid? Do you want to trust this trained stranger? People will say no.
Then you gotta do background checks,
and they still won't trust them.
Yeah,
I don't want no one around my kid. People have a problem leaving their kid with actual family members. You think they're gonna trust an actual stranger that they're paying?
So that's what I want to touch on, Russell. So two things I want to touch on. First, I'm going to tackle the controversial child care issue, right? And this is going to come from an angle that most people are not going to look at it. Think about it like this. Women have driven into the workforce, taking all type of jobs, all jobs historically that men have had, and say, we're going to take those. So now I'm just going to throw an arbitrary number. Half the jobs that men used to dominate, now women are halfway in there, right? Just arbitrary, but just know that they've been going towards those jobs. To the counter of that, when you look at childcare, men do not go into those industries because they are demonized. Nobody trusts them. So men typically create more private companies than women do. They are the drivers and pushers of corporations and companies. That's what they do. There is a huge opportunity that exists in the private sector for childcare, just driven for the taking for what a man would normally do when he sees opportunity. However, that is not an inviting sector for men. But women don't necessarily no longer want the responsibilities of children, supervising them, all these different things. They are pushing back against doing that. They don't want those responsibilities. So now you have that. You have a combination with a demonizing of men, no matter what man it is, whether it's right or wrong, it exists. And so you have men like, man, it's an opportunity to make a whole lot of money in that industry, but I can't have a child care full of men that will take care of kids, because how would that look? But the women don't want to do it no more, because the opportunity clearly exists. Clearly, a lot of money to be made there, but the men could drive down that cost if they flooded that market and say, hey, we can drive down this cost and we can get it more affordable, because then we can create the competition there to drive the cost down. But because men are pretty much invisible in that sector, there's no competitive balance. It's all primarily just the women. And I'm not saying you should trust the men. You do whatever you want, but they're so demonized that they can't even get that industry to affect the pricing, which historically men will do. Oh, you charging that much for it? I'm gonna undercut your business. I'm gonna bleed you out to bring the prices down. I'm gonna force competition. There's no forced competition out there at that sector because women ultimately don't create a lot of businesses, and then they also don't even want to do that stuff anymore, so they can't hire the women. It's a very, very deep thing when you really break it down, right? That's point number one. Now, as we go to the other aspect of the village, right, we have the biggest reason why the village is dissipating. And I'm going to play this video for one, a little bit of context, and then I'm going to wrap a lot of it together so people can really get a real understanding of just how deep this stuff really, really goes, right? Just listen up to this.
Women have a lower tolerance for children's cries, right? We hear a baby crying. This happened to me at the airport. There was a baby crying, and I was like, get the baby. Why are you letting the baby cry? And I just wanted to get up and be like, give me the baby. Men are like, she'll be okay. Here's a few Cheerios. And it's okay to have those different styles. But when babies are in distress, they're wet, they're tired, they're hungry, their cortisol levels rise. They cannot drop their own cortisol levels. They are literally incapable. Erica Komisar would say they don't have a central nervous system at this point. The only way for their stress levels to drop is for their oxytocin to increase. They can't express their own oxytocin. Only skin-to-skin contact will do that. And only mothers have the level of responsiveness that will constantly bring down their cortisol levels dozens and dozens of times every day, and thereby establish that ability to emotionally regulate. Women.
So what was just said, essentially, right? Women have that ability over men in higher droves, right? Now, unfortunately, when you have abilities that at a higher rate, more proficient in it, that typically pours a level of responsibility on you. We know men are more physically capable of protecting women, so we don't ask women to protect men, even though it might be possible that they could, because we're saying, hey, you're more proficient at it. It makes more sense for you to do that. So go ahead and just do it. Women are saying, even though we're more proficient at these things, you men need to learn how to do it because we don't want to do it anymore. So when you remove responsibility from roles where you are effectively better in general at, but you don't want to do it, it causes an imbalance. I'm not saying that makes her a better parent. I'm saying they parent differently. You can find value in it. Women are saying they don't want to do it. Ultimately, the reason why the village is destroyed is because people think that they can finance their village. You cannot. You cannot. You cannot finance your village. There's a trust issue that you guys discussed earlier, and we're doing things when we really discuss the village. We're not doing the actions to get the village. We're not living amongst our family. We're not living around our parents, our grandparents, our uncles, our aunties, and we're not having 12 children to help the house be ran. People don't want to talk about that. When you was growing up, you had to help and take care of your siblings around the house, go to market, all these different type of things. The things we now say that we're forcing them to grow up, that's not right. So those kids that experience that, having to help raise their siblings, they don't like it. And so they say,
I don't think they ever did.
I can agree to that to a certain degree, but I'd argue some of them probably did and some of them didn't. Fair enough. But at some point, it went from being the norm to let's change it. I don't want it no more. And I'm not saying right or wrong. You can do what you want in life, but you cannot finance these things. People did this stuff out of duty, loyalty, and family.
All that's gone.
So if you want to know where the village went, it went away when you thought money could accommodate your village. You cannot purchase a village. I don't care if you try to hire a maid. It will not work. It will not work because you don't feel comfortable to leave your kids with your maid. Now you're like, but I want a maid in the house with me to help me. Well, All this stuff is out of line. First of all, that person is not going to have a vested interest in the rising, the raising, the nurturing of your children. They have a financial interest. And when you confuse the financial interest as a vested interest, it gets really lost. Your children are not a business. You can tie financial interest at work, but when you tie it to family, it's a very complex thing that us humans just don't have the ability to do. I don't care. I could jump in front of a bullet for you as your security guard, but I don't have a vested interest to desire to do that. So I might decide I'm going to avoid doing it in this particular case or two. And that's from the moments when you really, really need it. I can't say I'm concerned. I just have noticed that this is getting a wider and wider gap. So as I try to correlate and bring all these things together, I was trying to get people to understand the reason a lot of this stuff isn't happening is because people are cowards. Because their fear, I might not be able to put no food in my child's belly. We got food. We got food. You might can't put the food that you want, but we got food. Oh, but you know, I can't give them no private education. Well, you're not smart enough to do it yourself. All of these things are fear-based. So if people were turning down having children because they just don't want children, because they don't like them, it's different. What you hear people say is, I can't afford them. I can't afford children, which is a lie, not even true. And so by default, they're avoiding doing it. They're running away from it. Now, everybody can do whatever they want, but when you have those actions of people not embracing, not running away from things, it'll start to bleed everywhere. So now, hey, I don't even want to work at a daycare no more. So even for children that ain't mine, I don't want to do it no more. It's bleeding to every aspect of our culture and our society year after year after year. How are we going to get a village back? Show me the light to the village, because at this point, I cannot see it.
It ain't happening. Manhood was talking about this the other day, that the title, people want titles, but they don't want the responsibilities that come behind it. And that's what, like you spoke about it earlier, the fighting through something, working towards something, that actually builds character. And then when people see that you are willing to sacrifice, that's when people want to come along with you, and that builds relationships. That builds the other person to come along with you because they see you actually care about something more than yourself. And that's supposed to be the goal of family. Sacrifice, caring about more than yourself, bigger goal, bigger vision. That's what these, surrounding ethnicities and races, they still have that. They still got 12 people in households. You go to some of these big places like in Maryland, Woodstock and everything, you go to their household, they still got their grandchildren's children inside of there, and they go to the work while Big Mama or their grandmothers watch the child.
Well,
those cultures are still being passed down.
You could say that, and I'll get to you, Uncle Jeff, because I think you want to chime in. I think that we can agree that the Hispanic community population is growing. Like we can agree that the numbers say that, right? However, it also say that we kind of make a little bit more money than them, right? So something about them says, even if we don't make as much money, we're not going to stop having children. We're going to keep doing it. We're going to do what's necessary or whatever we got to do this process and create whatever systems that we need in order to accommodate it with having less money.
Right, Ayo. And that goes into, again, culture. They're not worried about the fruit. I mean, the fleeting and temporal things that we care about, stuff that doesn't matter. They don't care about that. That's why they can do more with less money. And we've heard about so many people having, $50,000 a year, $60,000 a year, and you'll see the things that they amass, assets and everything like that. And you'd be like, how you do that? I make $120,000 and I'm barely making it, and everything like that. It goes according to lifestyle and culture. And a lot of times when lifestyle and culture dissipate, that's when you see the evidence of selfishness. That's what I was talking about.
Go ahead, Uncle Jeff.
Hey, I think you hit a lot of nails on a lot of heads, and I agree with a great much of what you're saying, but I just don't see it as the village not coming back. I see it as the village having no choice but to come back, and those who don't, you cold with it, Aaron, about the concept of men starting daycare. I think men should start daycare and not give a shit about one factor that you brought up, because the truth is that single fathers do as good a job statistically raising children as two-parent homes. It's single mothers that don't. And the concept that the only thing I push back on is how if you hire a nanny, it's only money involved. Because George Lopez actually has a closing bit about this, and he's kind of agreeing with you. The disconnect that America has had is getting other people to raise their kids. And you know who those other people were here in California? Mexican women. And these Mexican women wind up, this where you get young Hebrew kids that speak fluent Spanish. It's because their rich family wasn't nowhere around. That Mexican woman raised these kids, and these kids love her and despise their mama. It's a gang of them, dude. I know a few people like that are closer to the nanny that raised them than they are to their parents. But the village, we're doomed. I don't think we're doomed. I think doom and gloom is coming. And the concept of the village is the only thing that's going to save you.
Whew. Man, just geographically, it's just so difficult to see a village reemerge. Just knowing how I grew up, and a lot of us, I'm sure, my grandmother's down the street, my uncle's down the street. We're talking 10, 15 minutes max of distance for everybody in your immediate family.
Exactly.
Like I know, brother, the village is not going to be made of that anymore.
Oh, I agree to that.
Aaron, how many people, young man? That's why I keep coming over to your spot. It's because we may disagree, but I dig your courage for even thinking this way. Most of the people that you think like are probably not. It's probably not a gang of people in your family that think like you. This is what's going to happen. These new divides, brother, they are not going to have anything to do with who fuck. And let's just be honest. Your family is made up of a bunch of people who fucked a bunch of other people and didn't ask Aaron shit. That's really who they are. They are a bunch of people who had sex with other people and didn't ask you shit. You are going to create your circles, brother. By the shit you doing here, we are creating our circles. The people here, everybody I've heard speak here thinks different than most people. And your village is going to be made up to start of the people who think like you. These niggas that we all agree we don't like. This is why I get mad when brothers keep complaining about the black women they don't like. Society about to eat all that shit up. All that shit finna get ate up. All of it. Ignorant ass niggas, violent niggas, the niggas you can't take your girl nowhere because they want to start some shit. All them, bruh. They finna be gone. And you know what's gonna be left that survives? The village people.
Oh, it's just so many compounding factors. It's interesting, right? When we speak about the whole concept of love, right? And I can understand at a time where they're like, man, don't care nothing about love. But I'm gonna be honest, the women always used to. The women used to always be like, love is important. Love is important. Love is important. I want love, love, love. That's starting to disappear from women. I don't know if you guys are noticing that.
I am.
But that was the bridge. That women have been the bridge that they don't want to be. And I can't blame them. They can do whatever they want. But I think that has affected women in a way it's irreparable damage, I think, actually, at this point, to the degree that maybe our lives will not be able to see the adjustments, because I would say that when people speak glowingly about their family members, these are the brokest family members they have. These are the poorest people in their family that they speak highly of, glowingly of. And I'm not saying, because everybody likes to say, why settle for struggle of? That's not what my indication of. I'm saying, think about the people you admire the most, that you personally know growing up, that had the biggest impact on your foundation. They tend to be people that are not very well off, just in general, right? And we've to a certain degree, we've made money so much of our God that we may never be able to get back.
That's brilliant. That
What
is
about
fucking
this?
brilliant.
100.
What about the idea of the people that hate the people that make money, hate the people that's educated? That's the rift between them.
They gone too. Them idiots is gone too.
They are the squeaky wheel. Then you have these people that when I think about the village in these last few years, I've been hearing all the ladies go, it's the women and children. The men aren't, included.
Yeah, it's disheartening. For me, as a man, it's disheartening to hear how easy it is to write the men off. How easy it is to act like if they are not who you want them to be, then we can do without them.
I got such good news for you, Aaron.
It's too comfortable. That's what it's gotten to, and it's about to get real hard. Go ahead, Joe.
I got such good news for you, bro. All them heifers about to, bruh. When you hear people say everybody ain't gonna make it, bruh, we are all talking about the same thing. Do you remember, or do you hear a lot about how we hate the way music sounds and how you talk about women? Well, here's the problem. Smokey Robinson wrote music thinking about his mama. Stevie Wonder wrote music thinking about his mama. Luther Vandross, his mama. Lionel Richie, his mama. So did these new niggas. They was thinking about the mama they got raised by. And these new mamas ain't it. Bruh, this is what I'm trying to explain to you. Big Mama is on her way back. But here's who she is. She's listening to conscious sisters. This is what I keep explaining. Nobody takes me up on this. Has anybody here been to a sister by the name of Riva's channel? Rivah. She's a young, gorgeous sister who is the future Big Mama.
Yeah,
these women are going to cultivate the future Big Mama, and everybody in between them, you got to write off. These dirty, foul mouth, fucked up ass ratchets, you got to write them off. They are not going to make it, and they are not going to raise anyone who's going to make it. They are horrible. We all agree on that, but we cannot stake the future on them because the universe is started already. The universe has said its grace and is eating these horrible gutter snipes as we speak.
They the majority though, Jeff, just to let you know.
Exactly.
I disagree with what you're saying, but they the majority.
I don't know where we disagree. Everybody ain't gonna make it. The majority ain't gonna make it.
For the past,
that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that we spend way too much time focusing on these horrible ass broads instead of letting them walk the fucking plank. Them and the women who protect them need to walk the fucking plank. Real talk. This idea that there are, unless we are going to say that there are no decent women at all in the 48 contiguous states. If you're going to say that, let's argue that point. If you're not, let's try to find the decent ones. And they are hard to fucking find, but it's possible.
Well, they getting jumped on
Yeah.
by the women. Those
Okay.
women that you're naming is the women is after them, calling them pick-me's and mammies.
Absolutely. Another thing that has nothing to do with us. Absolutely. 110%.
That's 100. Yeah, that's 100.
That yes has a distinction without a difference, Knight. But by the way, Knight, that hat is fucking fire, sir. I got a suit that would kill that.
He know it. He know it.
So, well, I'm glad to hear you guys' perspective on this. But just when the village gets broken down to me, it's almost laughable just hearing the people that are requesting the village.
Yeah.
and how they want it to be accommodated around their life and what they want. The sacrifice, if you don't have it, it ain't gonna work. I'm sorry to tell you, grandma didn't want to always have to come through, but she came through.
Come on, bruh.
Yes, sir.
Come on. Look,
Yes, sir.
have you seen the movie? That's probably you may not have because you don't watch movies, and I think you should change that. Soul Food. There's a movie. There's a scene in the
AO seen that.
Okay. Don't let's not get caught up on the movie you didn't see. Let me tell you about the scene. Okay. This is what's missing. In the movie Soul Food, at the beginning, there's a wedding, a young people wedding. Everybody's there. It's a bunch of sisters who are the bridal party. There is some nasty heifer backing her ass up on the groom. Just being real filthy with her. The young sisters is like, okay, we finna handle this. We finna snatch this raggedy broad out by her hair. They go towards the dance floor where he was, and there's a crowd around him. They push through the crowd ready to throw hands, and guess who's dancing with him? Big Mama. Big Mama done pushed this heifer out the way because Big Mama sees the storm coming and brings peace. Big Mama was a peacemaker. Big Daddy was a peacekeeper. That's all that's going to work, Aaron. All these women that you talking about what they want and how they want it, bruh, you about to see some horrible funerals with only 3 people in attendance. The minister giving the rights, the bitter bitch in the box, and the nigga on the bulldozer. All this shit, bruh. All these unruly, disrespectful, cantankerous, can't build shit with broads that we are talking about are going to fucking perish. There is no, I try to find that shit since I can't say the name of the country. The name of the country that's at war that rhymes with 2 chains. Try to find some rude ass, sniping ass feminists over there. There ain't none. There ain't none. The only thing that holds up this feminist propaganda is masculine presence. When masculine presence folds and it's raiders coming that don't mind breaking your jaw before they take what's in your panties, when that come, and it's coming.
I calm down now. Hey,
that's
look,
real talk, bro. That's what it's gonna take.
That's quite
the village will come out of what's left.
Yeah, that's what I'm about to say.
You mean the femininity will come back after that?
Created,
that's wild.
The consequences
Come on,
man.
Man.
Behind a lot of stuff led to the grouping of us coming together as a family. You right about that, yeah.
Bruh, all this, you ain't going to worry about it. All this, I can't wait. All these heifers to talk all this shit, bruh. And it take 4 of them to move a couch. I don't care how much plaid they wear. I don't care how masculine they act. Bruh, you wait till this shit hit the fan, Aaron. The only thing that's going to save you is the ability to get with other people, to get with somebody who know something about electricity, something about plumbing, something about medicine, something about defense. That's all it's going to save you. And there ain't no room for them broads in that.
You know what, this is a good place for me to end the show. Thank you for tuning into the Aaron O Show. I do these things to try to spark the conversations, right? Hopefully people take what they hear from here and they go and create their own thoughts and extrapolate that and bring their perspective to the conversation. I try to bring a different way of looking at things my own way. Sometimes it goes the way I would like it to go. Most of the time it goes insane. Okay. I just don't, I don't know. I don't know. These are the shows that I try to do. These are the shows that I enjoy. These are the shows that I like. I hope you guys enjoy them. So please make sure you like and make sure you leave a comment at the end of the show. Man, I want to know what you guys think about The Village. Do you think what I said is pretty close? Do you think what I said is just far off? I want to know your thoughts. I want to know your thoughts on a space for men to be afraid and how that actually works, how I break that down. I don't overly beat down a conversation because I want to leave opportunity for someone to come in and take it even further and deeper than I was able to. Because then maybe I pull up on their show and I'm able to assist with that and making it even better. So the goal is always to push the conversation. So I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. I appreciate everybody supporting the show. The sponsor, of course, as always. But until the next show, I will bid you guys adieu, and I will see you guys